All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you're well. Bank Hayes in the building. What's going on? JD, what's going on? Phoenix the Assassin, the Exodus Files, Fried Shakur, and it was wonderful. Okay, I got to check it out. What's up, Joshua Roberts? How you feeling, man? I listened to a video this morning. This is crazy, crazy, crazy. Victor Conte, it just made a boo-boo in what he said in this interview with Fight Hype. I can't believe that this man equated himself with Snack and didn't recognize what he did. He is Snack. I mean, he is VADA. So I don't want to hear anything about VADA testing because he says he is VADA. That's unreal that he admitted that he's VADA. He didn't do it intentionally, but he admitted that he's VADA. USADA can't do the testing because if they want to have complete adjudication or they won't deal with boxing. So first of all, I would like to double check that. First of all, let's double check that, okay? Because Victor Conte said it doesn't make it true. So I want to talk about that and the fact that Devin Haney and these dudes won out of this fight with Brian Norman Jr. And if they get out of this fight with Brian Norman Jr., Devin Haney's the biggest fraud that there is in boxing. Also, the usual suspects are out here talking about how another pay-per-view flopped, talking about how the pay-per-views and PBC pay-per-views don't sell. Meanwhile, we don't hear anything about the fact that Turki Al-Sheikh is losing tens of millions of dollars every single solitary event, and it's bleeding consistently. But yet, we got to hear about how Manny Pacquiao's pay-per-view flopped, even though we know damn well you guys don't have any access to their numbers. So here we go with the stories again. But I'm going to be more disciplined, and I'm going to get back to responding to this nonsense, man. What's going on, PF Swish? Cornelius Burnett, what's going on, man? All things in the building. What's going on, man? Call me Deathstroke. Haney has never dog-walked anybody in his life. Devin has never dog-walked somebody in his life, okay? So I don't, but what's going on, Kamal? So no, I'm not buying it, man. I'm not buying that Devin Haney's going to dog-walk anybody. I need to see the man get in the ring, okay? Because he's acting real shaky. He's acting like he don't want to fight. He's sounding like he doesn't want to fight, okay? Brian Norman is saying that Devin Haney doesn't want to fight, and he's trying to find a way to get out of that fight. And I think I believe him. I can't lie. I think I believe him. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, I can. So, man, I'm not trying to hear. What's up, David Disdain? Somebody said Sean was saying that the numbers were low and they want Tank versus Pac-Man. I mean, who doesn't want? I mean, that's very obvious that they want Tank versus Pac-Man. I don't know why Sean Porter would be privy to the pay-per-views for Manny Pacquiao. I don't really know exactly how many pay-per-views you thought you were going to sell with Manny Pacquiao fighting Mario Barrios. That's a good fight. I mean, that's a fight, but the venue looked good. But I know for some, not Porter. Who said it? Cornelius Burnett. Who said it? Not Porter. Sean Porter didn't say that. Okay, good, because I didn't know since when Sean Porter got into giving out the PBC's numbers. Man, he said he can bypass VADA. Man said he could bypass VADA tests. We're supposed to get behind Snack and VADA. The Haney's found a way to weaponize VADA against fighters that they're scared to fight. Yeah, I mean, look, I agree. Jack me off. I think that is a great observation, a terrific observation, because that's what they did do. And that's what Victor Conte is trying to do is trying to weaponize drug testing. Basically saying that we're the only team in town and we're the only ones that can do it. So yeah, I might be a crook and I know how to be a crook, but hey, only us crooks can figure out how crooks are stealing. No, dude, you're a crook. I do not have to. I do not have to trust in you being a crook. You know what's up, 2 Cent? The CEO of Manny Pacquiao Promotions said they want Tank or Rolly next. So who is? Oh, exactly. Kamal said PBC outsold the zone pay-per-views regardless. You know that. You know that. But if they want Pac-Man, Manny Pacquiao, make the fight. We have the right to make. They have the right to make big fights. I don't think Manny Pacquiao versus Barrio wasn't expected to sell high. Look, who knows? It's not like it's got a lot of extra cost associated with it, and it's probably did better than the Caleb Plant. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Ban user. Sorry about that. Sorry, Joe. Sorry, Jock. I'm not going to say jack me off anymore. Sorry about that. Sorry. I don't know why you got to be a little dickhead, though. Like that type of comedy right there just shows what, like, that somebody's a vindictive little peon. Honestly, that's the type of little stuff that vindictive peons do. They'll try to get you to say something that you don't know you're saying, so make you sound bad, and he can snicker at you. Dog, that's some little bull. That's like this bullshit that one of my friend, he's not my friend. I pledge with him. Don't really care for him. But that's the type of shit that he does. Little itty bitty, little ignorant shit like that, where he thinks he's smart. But what happens when you do that, as soon as somebody figures out that you're doing it, they're like, oh, you're just a dickhead. Oh, okay, so I now know not to fucking trust you at all. You're just a little dickhead. Man, I can't stand people that do shit like that. Little tricky little things. Like they're the type of people that put a pin on your seat. You know what I mean? Like a stick, put a stick pin on your seat and make you sit on a stick pin and think that shit is funny. Phenomenal show. Exactly. We go through this every fucking time. What is that? Phenomenal show. Let me see. What's Phenomenal Noob talking about? It's been 2 days. People don't. It's been 2 days. People don't know these numbers. Hell no, they don't know the numbers. It's been 2 days, and they already got the pay-per-view numbers out, man. like you never. Hey, no. Guess what else I heard? I heard that Lamont Roach is going to be fighting Pitbull Cruz next. Where did I need to know? Somebody from the PBC, please come on to this call. How do people know that Gervonta Davis is going to be fighting, that Lamont Roach is going to be fighting Pitbull Cruz next? It's almost like you guys just take two names and throw them together and say, look, this is what they're wanting to do. But I guess it moves the conversation along, you know? The only 140-pound division champion who is calling out the other champions is Sabril Matias. Why none of the others want unification? That's not true, Marcus Logico, because Gary Antoine Russell said he wanted unification. Gary Antoine Russell said that too. Davis is saying, said people are saying a lot of stuff. Yeah, but I'm tired of that shit, man. Like, but it is what it is. I mean, if that's the game and what we got to do is just continue to make up shit every day, that's the game, I guess. What's going on, Javon Freeman? How you feeling, brother? Listen to Victor Conte, though.
The issue is, and I think the reason that you're so fired up is this goes to the core. Victor, you know, I've spoken to some championship fighters you work, and they said, you know, off the record, I've talked with Victor, and he says, you know, we do all we can to help VADA make the test stringent, you know, especially, you know, in helping form it. But he said, Victor at the same time did admit he knows how to beat these tests as good as they are. What percentage of championship level notable fighters, what kind of estimate do you think are beating the system, are getting past VADA, WADA, USADA, any of them?
Well, first of all, let me say that USADA testing is not available to boxing.
Right.
Okay. And the reason is because they have stated publicly that unless they control the testing, including the adjudication 100%, they don't want any boxers. So what I'm telling you is, at the moment, the only game in town,
Nigga, man, answer the question.
is VADA. So it is what it is. I mean, boxers can decide to be in or not. And VADA is much smarter, and the people they have, the scientific people advising them, have.
Phenomenal Noob. USADA is available to boxing. Just because Victor Conte said it doesn't mean that you should go on ahead and believe it. Okay? That's what you call the white, that's called the smart white man with glasses look. Look, he's white, he's got glasses. He's white, he's got glasses, he must be telling the truth. Emmanuel Carter, what's up, Emmanuel Carter? Devin gonna tell a judge he did push up his baby mama, can put him up on a house arrest starting to November 26th. Oh, so he's gonna he's gonna tell his baby mama, tell a judge that he hit his baby mama so he ain't gonna have to fight. Kank stops Kid Austin easily. Don't want to, man, stop that shit. We got to get you out of here. All right, got to get you out of here on that. All right, putting you out on timeout. Chucky Comier. Anybody that says they don't want to see somebody fight somebody, bro, I'm deleting your comment. I'm putting you on timeout. Stop doing that. That every time I start talking about who Gervonta Davis should fight, I get a bunch of people talking about he shouldn't fight this person, he shouldn't fight that person, he shouldn't fight this person, he shouldn't fight that person. Oh, I don't want to see him fight Kid Austin because that's too easy a fight. I don't want to see him fight Lamont Roach because that's too easy a fight. I don't want to see him. You just don't want to see him fight, bro. Okay? I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. I cannot allow this stuff that goes around Gervonta Davis to happen again, man. Don't talk about his baby mom and his personal life, you sad person. Fuck you. It's in the newspaper. I'm talking about it. Devin Haney wants to talk about people's personal business. Bill Haney wants to talk about people's personal business. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, dog. If you don't want anybody talking about you and your baby mama, don't get a restraining order put on you and don't get it put in TMZ. The Negro is in TMZ. I don't know exactly what you expect me to do. If he's in TMZ, I'm going to treat him like his ass is in TMZ and say your ass is in TMZ. Stay out of TMZ. Ralph Chesson said maybe he's trying to look confident with the glasses. Look, I'm telling you, when you wear glasses, people think you're smart. So the combination of him using big words, which I don't believe, I can't lie. He said it's public information. Yeah, don't get mad at me, bro. Unstoppable RO. Anyway, I gotta let you go. Gotta put you on time out there, bro. Gotta go. Sorry. Anything to disrespect his resume. Look, if Devin Haney pulls out of this fight, dog, what's wrong with these people ducking everybody? Back in my day, they fought the best contenders. Look, what's wrong with everybody? Devin Haney is a media-made creation. And and his chickens are coming home to roost. That's what's wrong with Devin. Devin is made in a lab, bro. Devin was made. Yeah, that's how I'll describe it. Devin Haney was created in a lab. No, we're talking about someone that William Haney said he hired to watch other fighters cycle to catch them cheating. That should have sounded alarm to everybody. It sounded an alarm to me, Phoenix. It sounded an alarm to me. But Jared Newsom, let me tell you why that is. Garrett Newsom, let me tell you what's wrong with these people. We have media manufactured stars. Bill Haney is, especially Devin Haney. Devin Haney is just completely manufactured, bro. Yeah, RIP for Malcolm Jamal Warner, for sure. Devin is LeBron James. What? A media created. He's LeBron James without the talent. He's LeBron James without the talent. Devin Haney does not have enough. That honestly, Devin Haney. You remember when Rolly Romero? You remember when Rolly Romero said Devin had horrible genetics? Do y'all remember when Rolly Romero said that Devin Haney has horrible genetics. Just his body is terrible. like he just can't. He'll never do it because he just got terrible genetics, man. Haney strategically fights coming off a loss or past their prime. Haney's opponents in the U.S. average age is 35.5 old, aside from Ryan. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so he doesn't want to fight guys the same age as him or younger. He's not going to want somebody to fight somebody that can hit big. He's completely man-made, bro. He got them Bill. Hell yeah, he got them Bill Haney genes, dog. I got really good genes. Like, no joke. My dad was an athlete, man. My dad is a great athlete. So I got very, very good athletic genes. I didn't get my athletic genes is not as good as my father. Like, I would say that my father's athleticism, from what I've seen, from what I've heard, is like a 10 out of a 10. My athleticism somewhere is around like an 8 out of 10. You know what I mean? I think I'm a solid, as far as my athletic ability, I was absolutely, bro, let me tell you something, man. Get the fuck out of here, you bitch. Let me get back to your bum ass son, Bill. Hey, guess what my son can do, Bill? My son can read, nigga. How about that? My son can read. Can your son read? My son graduated from high school. Did Devin graduate from high school? Since you want to talk about people's kids, hey, can Devin read? I saw Devin's handwriting. It looked like a 5-year-old. Okay? So not only can my son write in cursive, in legible handwriting, he can actually read. So I want to know how well Devin Haney can read, Bill. How well can he read? Huh? You want to start talking about other people? My kid's not a fucking boxer, bro. And by the way, lockdown defender. Thank you very much, bitch. I hate Bill Haney, bro. With all my heart, I hate that nigga. You are a bum, Bill, and you live off your son, Bill. You're a bum that lives off your son. Nigga, go get a job, Bill. How about you go do something on your own, Bill, and stop riding on your untalented bum-ass son's shoulder and stop weighing his ass down. And I can't wait to see Brian Norman knock his ass out. What the hell are you talking about, nigga? Making up fake ass stats. 0.2 points and 0.3. Shut the fuck up, nigga. I swear to God, I hate you, Bill. But that's all right, Bill. You already know your boys is getting done. You already know it. Nuke the Duke, y'all bugging, bro. Numbers don't lie. LeBron James runs. Man, LeBron James, I can't stand. LeBron James is still man-made, bro. Man, Bill Haney is in here every day, bro, sending his little bots to say stupid shit, bro. I know what Bill says because I know what kind of person Bill is. Bill is the time. Bill is not. See, Bill done snorted so much of that. What do you call that shit? What's all that stuff he does? Bill done sniffed up. He can't control himself, bro. This man cannot. If I start talking bad about Devin, that dude cannot control himself. Hell yeah, Bill making burners. Or that's Bill, dog. Of course that's Bill. Your son does this. Your son does that. That's Bill, dog. That's Bill and his booger sugar, dog. That's Bill and his booger sugar talk, dog. Bill, and he brings them gump-ass gay dudes around here, too. Oh, you busters. Anyway. Bill, your son ain't gonna have no brain cells left, Bill. Your son, literally, bro, your son is shrinking down 40 pounds to beat up little ass old men. Yeah, what a big guy. What a great dad. Cheating ass, and you know you niggas is cheating. And you know you cheating. Jeep Red Boy in the building. Thank you, man. Much love in the super chat, brother. Anyway, man, let me get back to this stuff, man. Phoenix, something like that. Well, let me put a link in the chat in case somebody want to chop it up, man. Oh, man. Princess James is not top 7 all time. Talented but manufactured. He's very manufactured. He's very, very, very manufactured. They are good. They made us. Once they got that. Who was the one that they really came out after? Kevin Garnett came out. After Kevin Garnett came out. I don't know why I put Devin Haney's name in this title. Princess, yeah, I think he's top 7 all time. I would think he would be. I would think so. But it's, I mean, top 7 in basketball, it's very, very tough to get. That's very, very tough to do in boxing. Did I miss him? I miss him. Oh, no, I got you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate y'all, man, for the support, bro. What's up, Ricky Williams? How you feeling, man? Anyway, man, but back to why these fighters don't fight. They're not fighting guys because they are getting these paydays from Turkey Al-Sheikh to not fight the fights that would naturally occur if they weren't over there. Devin is about to get whooped by Brian Norman. I want to know what's their excuse going to be. The excuse is when he's going to be testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs. They're going to plant it on his ass. That's what they're going to plant something on Brian Norman Jr. or they're going to try to fix that, or they're going to try to fix that fight in some type of way. That's what I personally think. I don't have any trust of Devin Haney and Bill Haney and that whole organization, dog. I believe that they're underhanded people and that they will try to fix a fight. So Brian Norman Jr. has to be worried about getting doped going into that fight. Right. He's got to get worried about getting some shit put in his water. He got to worry about all kind of stuff like that. MJ number 1, Kobe number 2, LeBron number 3. You guys are real disrespectful of guys like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I don't know why you put LeBron James over Kareem. I don't know why you put, honestly, and I don't know why you put Kobe over Shaq. But okay. Nah, you can't deny his numbers, but numbers don't mean everything. Numbers aren't everything, man. Man, numbers are not everything. There's more to the story than the punch stats, you know? That's our overly analytical. That's because basketball is controlled by a bunch of 5'6" nerds that decided that instead of letting basketball players play a real game of basketball, they decided that they were going to turn basketball into one big gambling match. Basketball has all that bullshit out there because of gambling. Fanon, what's the thoughts on Subriel Matias after his fight? I know it's off subject matter. Man, ask me anything. But I'm just thinking after his fight, I didn't see much post talk after his fight. Well, look, Subriel Matias got that win, and now he's trying to fight Teofimo Lopez. He slapped Teofimo Lopez's glasses off his face or something. Phoenix Assassin says, Allen Iverson, Shaq, Magic Johnson, Elijah Wan, Dennis Rodman, and more. Yeah, you really disrespect guys like Dennis Rodman is an amazing player. Magic Johnson, yeah, that's a lot of disrespect to Magic Johnson, Elijah Wan. Yeah, a lot of great fighters, man. A lot of great basketball players but you know, there's a lot of great athletes is generally, if you don't see them, then they don't exist for you. And, you know, so it is what it is. But at least LeBron James isn't like a Steve Nash. You know, he's legitimately is a force. That big old boy can run. That man can play. I'm just speaking about those 3 specifically. I agree there are lots of names to add. Yeah. My favorite player, I think the best player of the 3 that you're talking about, though, is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is just, man, Kobe is not Michael Jordan, dog. I'm sorry, bro. I paid a lot of attention to Kobe Bryant. Dude, Kobe Bryant is nasty, but Kobe Bryant is not Michael Jordan, dog. No, he is not. He didn't do it like Mike can do it. Mike does it when Mike, I think that dude just was, man. Princess is not top. Who is Princess? Is not top 10. This man, hey, Bill. Nobody gives a fuck what you think, Bill. Nobody gives a fuck what you think, Bill. First of all, I'm not 61. I'm 56, Bill. Second of all, Bill, I'll talk about whatever the fuck I want, Bill. Go snort some cocaine, nigga. Go sniff something, man. Go bug off, bro. Go embarrass your son, man. Go outside and embarrass your family, dog. Go outside. Why don't you go on Mill City, bring an 8-ball, and embarrass your whole family? All right, do that, dog. And leave me alone, bro, because I am sitting up here talking about whatever I want to talk about, dog. If you want to talk about basketball, you little midget, I'm going to talk about basketball, you little midget. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about, little midget. And you can bug off, bro. And guess what? Devin ain't never going to be on no list of all-time greats. Your son will, guess what your son's going to be? Forgotten, and he's going to have concussions, and he's probably going to have slurred speech, and it's all because you wanted to get famous on his back. Okay? It's not like you are a fighter and then you want him to follow in your footsteps as a fighter. No, you put your son out there and encouraged him to do all that stuff because you decided your son was going to be Floyd. And now that your shit's all falling apart and Devin's getting his ass whooped and he's scared of Brian Norman, you want to come in here and talk shit to me. Bro, I don't care about you, don't care about your son. Every time, bro. What is he saying about my son? I'm saying your talent, I'm saying your son is a talentless hack, is what I'm calling him. I don't care. As far as a world-class athlete, bro, Devin Haney is not a world-class athlete, dog. He's not. Not a world-class athlete. I don't believe it. Matthias and Russell at 140 is the fight I want to see next after, hopefully. Who's this, Matthias and Russell? Yeah, that'd be dope, but I don't know. I don't think Matthias has to give Puello a rematch. They can go right to that. Anyway it goes, man. I want to see that fight. But seriously, man, Bill, I'm 61 years old on Gossman, bro. I am a retired person. I have done my job in my life enough where I can get up in the morning and work if I want to work, not work if I don't want to work, and I can talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about when I want to talk about it, Bill. So I don't know. You know what the funny thing is to me, bro? That you think that I behave like little kids behave. I am not going to be led by you guys and told what to think like these little idiots that follow you around because you buy them dinner, because you're nice enough. Oh, my God, this is a steak dinner. I've never seen a steak dinner before. Oh, my God, he's flying me out to Vegas. Oh, I've never had a man fly me out before. Man, look, man, this dude is out here flying out people to Vegas. Oh, why don't you come see me? I'll fly you out on a plane. Oh, man. These dudes' eyes was woo. Tank and Gary, I need to see that. Yeah, what's going on, Rafael Rivera? For sure. PBC had over 110,000 live viewers on YouTube for the prelim fights. Mark, I know that fight did well. You're not going to get the fight numbers 2 days after the fight. So that's just not how it's going to work, you know? Let me go back to this.
I've spoken to some championship fighters you work, and they said, off the record, I've talked with Victor, and he says, we do all we can to help VADA make the test stringent, especially, in helping form it. But he said, Victor at the same time did admit he knows how to beat these tests as good as they are. What percentage of championship level notable fighters, what kind of estimate do you think are beating the system, are getting past VADA, WADA, USADA, any of them?
Well, first of all, let me say that USADA testing is not available to boxing.
Right.
Okay. And the reason is because they have stated publicly that unless they control the testing, including the adjudication 100%, they don't want any boxers. So what I'm telling you is, at the moment, the only game in town with any credibility is VADA. Mm-hmm. So it is what it is. I mean, boxers decide to be in.
How did you go that the only people in town with any credibility? VADA doesn't want it unless they can have the adjudication of it. Why can't they have the adjudication of it? I would love if they had the adjudication of it. That means they would clean the sport up if they had the adjudication of it. But I doubt very much that they want all the adjudication and they wouldn't be willing to test and then have you guys. I doubt very much that Victor Conte is telling the truth there. Let's debate the graveyard on Thursday. You said LeBron James ain't top 10. You can debate it now. I don't know how in the world. I have no idea how in the world you can say that LeBron James isn't top 10. That's tough. I don't know basketball well enough, man. LeBron joins forces to form Voltron, still lost in the finals. Last time I checked, Mike 6-0. Oh, there's no comparison between Mike and LeBron. We don't lose, baby. Mike don't lose in the finals, dog. Mike don't lose in the finals. Mike don't lose in the NCAA finals. Mike don't lose in the NBA finals and keeps getting there. Back to back to back. Skipped a couple, back to back to back. Two three-peats. Michael, yeah, exactly. We don't lose, bro. We don't lose in We don't lose in the finals, dog. Mike don't lose. Mike don't do game sevens. Mike don't do game seven. They don't do game sevens, dog. Don't do game sevens. Game 6, that's your ass. Okay. We'll give you 2. You know, because we got to make that. We got to make those commercials. We got to make that money. So you know, we're gonna let it go to 6, but we ain't going to no 7s, dog. That tell you, man. Tom cheating Brady fans love LeBron. That's funny. LeBron lost way too many times in a big show, losing record in the finals. Yeah, he kept getting there, but you know, he's kind of like Karl Malone. Well, no, he's not. Karl Malone got there twice, never won it at all. Y'all forget how, man, Karl Malone used to be a great player too. Really did, man. Karl Malone was a beast. What about KD? I'll take, hey, my God, man, somebody sent me a cash app. Thanks, bro. Ralph Chestnut, $5 holler, brother, said, channel support, salute, my guy. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for the channel support, dog. Mike is the man. Yeah, no joke. Look, we can talk about it. Jordan will always be the GOAT, no questions asked. Look, if somebody came along better than Michael Jordan, I would say it in a second. I just can't see anybody being more completely dominant like that, dog. That dude is bananas, man. Like, I just can't. I watched all of his games. It's so easy for him to score, man. It was so easy for him to score. And then if you put a ton of pressure on him, man, God, he can just do all kind of shit in the thing, man. He's definitely better than LeBron, man. Terrell W said LeBron disrespect is crazy. He ain't Jordan, but he better than everyone not Jordan. I don't think he's better than Kobe. I really don't. Karl Malone likes little girls. God damn. PBC outdid Rehab just on the YouTube prelims with over 100,000 live views. To watch my guy Gary Russell Jr. with 100,000 live viewers, watching my guy Gary Russell Jr. do his thing, man. Kobe over LeBron all day. Being from Chicago, have you met Jordan? You know what? What happened with me and Michael Jordan? I met Michael Jordan, but I met him in passing because he like drove in front of my house. He was driving this brown BMW. He was brown Corvette, and he had a white, like that white Kango he used to wear. And he was driving by my house, and I was walking across the street. So it was like as I was walking across the street, he pulled up to the intersection, and I looked in the window, and he looked out at me, and I was like, I waved, and he went like, and he waved back at me, and yeah, that was dope. It was dope, man. So yeah, I did. Let me put it. He ran into me. Because he didn't live too far from where I was living at the time. But I thought it was really weird. He drove right in front of my house. Like, I intersected with him. And that's before we won. That's before we started winning the championships. But yeah, for sure. MJ GOAT, Kobe the GOAT, the closest to Jordan. Look, man, Kobe's a great dude, man. Like, what a great guy. I was really hit when he passed away, man. Because Kobe was a much nicer guy. Like after he got out of the league, I kind of hated on Kobe because I was a big Shaq fan, and Shaq was the best. Dude, Shaq was the best on that team, bro. Shaq is the best on that team. Kid Charlie LeGrew trying to start an argument, dog. Hell no. He can never catch Ali, man. It's not possible. I seen MJ at the Omni in Atlanta against Dominic Wilkins. I saw him play at the Push Excel game against Magic Johnson. And yeah, he can ball, man. Said Jordan's sneakers alone make him the GOAT. Yeah, Jordan's a man. Jordan's the best athlete. Let me put it this way, dog. I felt very blessed to be in Chicago and the fact that dude played for our teams, man. Michael Jordan is just the best, man. Jordan stopped a lot of guys from getting rings. They left after he left for a while to play baseball for a short season. And when he came back to play, a lot of teams and players didn't like that. Hey, the Bulls were nice, quiet as kept. The Bulls were nice without him, though. I thought we could have at least made it to the finals I thought we should have made it to the finals instead of New York, but they cheated us. They wanted New York and LA to be they wanted New York to be in the finals and not Chicago without Jordan. So they ripped us off, bro. Tacked up all this deck. Man, I don't know if the refereeing in the is corrupt as it used to be, but the NBA was straight up fixed. Like it's fixed in a lot of ways, man. Fixed in a lot of ways. Kentrell's trying to start a fight, bro. Muhammad Ali would, I think Alexander Usyk would probably go. I think he'd be gone in probably 13 rounds. In round 13 or 14, he's going to be gone. I think Ali stops Usyk in about the 13th round. 13th, 14th round, he's going to knock out Alexander Usyk. But seriously, man, Ali's going to destroy Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk's too slow for Ali. That's the big problem right there. His hand speed is too slow. Like what? Because he's not going to be able to counter Ali like that. You know? And it's not like, Fanan, I'm waiting on it. Yeah, as soon as my son gets done with it, I'm going to tell him again, I'm waiting on it. It's almost done. It's like an hour-long documentary. So hopefully my son will get done with that very soon. But we're recording it. I got you, Kentrell. Yeah, man. Ali's but everybody knows Ali's my guy, man. So I'm tremendously biased in favor of Muhammad Ali. But just from what I see, especially when you're talking about like not from 1964 to 1967, 1968, Alexander Usyk don't want no parts of that. That dude's too fast. Too fast of a foot. He's too fast a foot, and he's too fast a hand. He's just going to get jab, straight right hand, jab, straight right, or just lead right hands. Straight, because on a southpaw, he's probably going to light him with, boom, straight right hand, pivot out, swing out. He's going to do a lot of pot shotting, bro. Like a lot of pot shotting of Alexander Usyk, man. As a matter of fact, that's how I would see that fight going between Ali and Alexander Usyk. I would see it being a pot shot factory, bro. If it wasn't for the Detroit Pistons, Jordan would have no, hell no. No. We wouldn't have, if it wasn't for the Pistons, no. We still have 6 because we couldn't beat the Pistons. Man, if it wasn't for the Detroit Pistons getting rid of Boston, we couldn't beat Boston. So, like, nah, man, Detroit had to get rid of Boston. We man, all these guys that talk about, like, anyway, Usyk's not even beating Lennox. Yeah, no, I don't think he's beating Lennox Lewis. I still have him as this century, like my number 5 heavyweight this century. He stretched everybody else, though. So, look, man, what he did to he's just he's also in a good position where he doesn't have to fight a very active American heavyweight scene because the boxing media has done everything they can to kill American boxing. And, you know, you still got these guys working hard to kill American boxing. Look who they wanted to make the face of American boxing. Devin No Talent Haney. They just want to create something. And honestly, man, we kind of went south with Floyd Mayweather too. Because everybody wants to be Floyd. They want to shoulder roll and never get touched. Man, that's why I was so glad to see Gary Russell Jr. back in the ring because he was not afraid to throw them hands, man. Fanan, what would be the thoughts on Joe Louis and Usyk back in Louis era at the prime? Definitely give me Joe Louis. Once again, you're fighting 15 rounds, bro. You're fighting 15 rounds. But, it just depends. But I would definitely give me Joe Louis, a prime Joe Louis. You can get me over Alexander Usyk because I think he beat guys that are like levels of Alexander Usyk and guys like Max Schmeling. What's the other guy's name besides Max Schmeling they had over there? What's the guy's name, man? Max Baer, Max Schmeling. They had some good some really good Eastern European heavyweights back then that probably would be right along the line of Alexander Usyk. Something like really good, solid fighters like that, man. You know, like Joe Bug, like what's that guy, real tall dude, about 6'5"? What's the tall? Yes, sir, was Baer. Yeah, Max Baer. Yeah, like Max Baer. Max Schmeling. They had a lot of Central and Eastern European fighters that were good, that would kind of fall into the Alexander Usyk mode that Ali fought. Usyk lost to Sean Porter in the amateurs. Yeah, I'm just saying, he's Alexander Usyk to be able to come into professional boxing at 30 years old, over 30 years old, and dominate the scene. That tells you that there's a weakness in heavyweights, because no athletes are in their prime in their late 30s. Boxing, you should not be in your prime in your late 30s. If somebody's in their late 30s dominating, it's because of the lack of competition within the younger fighters, which, by the way, those guys still had to face. They did fight young fighters. They didn't duck younger fighters. Yes, I saw that. Did you see the interview where Sean Batal asked Victor if he wanted to pass a VADA test? Can he? And he agreed, yes, he can. So therefore, VADA's not worth shit. Because Victor knows how to beat his own test. So therefore, you should not be fighting with Devin Haney. Because Devin Haney has somebody that he admits said he knows how to cheat the test, has access and the information to cheat the test, but we're just supposed to trust him. That you're not actually cheating the test. Yeah, it's pretty damning what he said. But yes, absolutely, I heard it. And it is what you call a very damning situation for Victor Conte. How could you trust VADA if you know Victor knows how to beat the system and Victor is consulting with specific fighters on their nutrition? Seems to me that you're in a big, bad situation right there. And the excuse that Victor has for that very terrible situation is that they're the only player in the game. Fanon, in your opinion, why Turkey keeps trying to get rid of the Ali Act? I don't think he is trying to get rid of the Ali Act. The idea of them getting rid of the Ali Act is so absurd. But then again, they moved the UNLV game for a bunch of dumb shit, so who knows? But why? So that he can rip off fighters. That's why. He's trying to remove protections away from fighters so he can take advantage of fighters. That's the only reason that I could think. Yeah, it's a very bad look for the Haneys and Victors. Yes, it is. But we've already know this. We already know that Victor can cheat the test. His own tests. Yes, I know how to cheat the test. And yes, I do consult with people on their strength and conditioning. Victor, here's the thing. You should not be involved with the fighter and VADA at the same time, Victor. That's a conflict of interest. You should not be advising fighters on their nutrition, knowing that you have the ability to beat the test that you have them sit for. Ring wish Fanon, I think Usyk pretty smart and even figuring out opponents as the rounds go on. Look, Tyson Fury's a fake fighter, a big ass fake phony fighter who beats a lot of domestic level fighters, and the couple fighters that he beat was good. He cheated. That is a huge conflict of interest. But hey, man, let's just go with Victor, because Victor's the only guy I'm the only one that can do it. I'm the only one that can do it. We're the only ones. How about we start somebody else to? And WADA doesn't even want. No, you can't use WADA. You can't use VADA. I mean, you can't WADA. You can't use only us. But hey, man, you guys are the ones that got to get your brains beat in by that guy, not me. So Anyway, let's see if anybody want to chop it up as we grind through these times. Who's top three? Usyk is not top three. No freaking way. He beat all he did. Not all he did. First of all, shout out to Alexander Usyk. You the man, Alexander Usyk. You're the man. Don't get me wrong, bro. I'm not trying to say that he ain't the man. Right now, Alexander Usyk is the king of boxing. Number one guy in all of the sport is Alexander Usyk. Because he is the man dominating that division. But they would have never given Deontay Wilder the opportunity to fight for all four belts. They would not even give Deontay Wilder an opportunity to do it. Not even the opportunity to do it. They say, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, no, Deontay, you can't fight for undisputed. Everybody else can get a shot, though. But yet, undisputed is supposed to mean everything. There was no way Deontay Wilder was going to get a shot at that and get at that, man. He's not top three. What? Alexander Usyk is top three in what? Top three fighter right now? Top three heavyweight right now? Top three heavyweight of the century? What are you talking about? Top three heavyweight all time? Hell no, he ain't top three heavyweight all time. That shit is ridiculous. Hell no. Top three of the century? Yeah, there's a little bit of a chance of it. Keon, how can I help you?
Yeah, I was just listening for like the past 20 minutes hearing you talk about Usyk and that, and it like I kind of disagree with what you said about he's in a bit of a weak division, and
he's in a terribly weak division.
That's where I disagree. I'd say the reason he's so dominant, not because the division's weak, is because he's just that excellent. I think
no, the division's weak as shit. It's weak as shit. It's weak as water shit. It's weak as baby boo boo.
I think it's stronger than the previous division, if you will, and it's been strongest in a
while. What's the
while.
previous?
The Klitschko era.
You think it's stronger than the Klitschko era?
So
which Klitschko? Vitalian?
Oh no, Vladimir. When Vladimir was,
but there's Vitaly. There's Vladimir. Look, I'm telling you right now that the heavyweight division right now is weak. It is. It's just weak. It's got a bunch of weak ass UK fighters in it. It's weak. Yeah, what you want me to say? You got a bunch of 50 or damn near 50-year-old men that are dominating the division. Look, how old are these guys, man? Usyk is almost 40 years old and wiped out the whole division at 40 years old. That's a weak. Yes, he did.
He didn't do the whole division. He did.
He did. He beat Tyson Fury twice. He beat Anthony Joshua twice. Yeah. He knocked out Daniel Dubois twice. The only guy left out there is Joseph Parker. That's the only guy, and he's not a Brit, but he's the only guy that's out there. And guess what? He lost to AJ.
Well, when you say the only guy, what do you mean the only person you think is good?
How about the skill set? I'll talk about the skill set. They don't have the skill set that they had in the 70s. Those are better fighters.
Oh, yeah, you can say the 70s is better. The 90s is better. You can say that, but that wouldn't mean this is weak. It would just mean it's not as good.
No, I mean it's weak. I don't know how you want me to – they're weak. A bunch of UK weak-ass heavyweights. They are. Tyson Fury's a drug cheat. AJ got no fucking chin. Daniel Dubois don't got no chin. Joe Joyce beat Daniel Dubois, and Joe Joyce beat Daniel Dubois with a jab. Just a jab. All Daniel Dubois he did to Daniel Dubois was jab him in the eye over and over and over again and bust him up. That's Joe Joyce did that to Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois knocked out AJ. AJ can't take a punch no more.
Yeah, Anthony Joshua, I'd say he's finished.
Yeah, they're gone. Like seriously. I don't know what else. I've been watching it. The era of the big heavyweights is a lie because those big ass heavyweights have no chin. Everybody's like, oh, these big heavyweights, 6'6", 6'9", 6'8". What? These dudes are getting knocked out by a guy they were calling that Tyson Fury himself called the middleweight. This is a 40-year-old cruiserweight, man. It's a 40-year-old cruiserweight.
That's why I'm saying it's so impressive because I think he's so excellent to be a 38, 39.
You want to Those guys are bums. No, I'm not saying that. Those guys are bums. No, they're bums. No, he whooped some bums. He whooped them bums is what he did. You know what they call? That's what they call it. They call it a Eurobum tour. They gave Usyk a Eurobum tour. That's what you call it when you fight 5 or 6 dudes from the UK. You fight 2 and 3 dudes from the UK. They're bums. They've been bums the whole time. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. They blew AJ up to be this great all-time great heavyweight. I told you then. AJ is not some all-time great heavyweight. Watch and see. He's a muscle-bound pretty boy model is what he was. And they hype jobbed him because he was an Olympic gold medalist. And his shit fell apart. He got knocked out by Andy Ruiz, who's a fucking fat Mexican journeyman. Come on, man. It's a weak division, and it proved because none of those guys could stand up. And you guys can say Deontay Wilder was such a bad fighter. Deontay Wilder damn near killed Tyson Fury. He knocked. I mean, and this is a guy that UK said didn't have no skill. If he didn't have any skill, why in the hell is Tyson Fury getting up off his ass so much?
That's a bit of a different conversation. Like,
no, it's not. UK dudes are saying Deontay Wilder is not a skilled heavyweight. That's what everybody says. But that unskilled heavyweight, that unskilled heavyweight clocked Tyson Fury and dropped him 4 times. And one time literally laid his ass flat out, and they had to cheat him, give him a long count for him not to have knocked out Tyson Fury the first time. But this is a bum. But he's a bum, though. Deontay Wilder's supposed to be a bum.
See, I can't speak for what anyone else. I've got my own opinion on Wilder. I'm not saying that. What my opinion on Wilder, for example, I think he was overrated. He had skills
along with the rest of these heavyweights.
I'm not saying they're not overrated. I'm just saying the division is not as weak as.
You're saying they're not. Yes, you were saying you're not saying they're overrated.
No, I'm saying some of them are overrated. I'm saying the division is not as weak as
Tyson Fury was overrated.
Yeah, he overrates himself.
Anthony Joshua overrated.
Yeah.
Dillian White overrated. Remember Dillian? Overrated as the fuck.
No, to what extent?
And a steroid cheat. And a steroid cheat.
When you say
and he's a steroid cheat.
Yeah, but like that's nothing to do with like rating him. Like when you say
it has a lot to do with him rating him. The only reason his ass can fight is because he's juiced up. They're juiced up, and they got a ton of muscle. And this Ukrainian, 40-year-old Ukrainian, bro. He's 40. The man is almost 40 years old, and he's walking through these dudes
because he's so excellent.
No, he's 40. Let me repeat. He's 40. There's no such thing as he's in his prime at 40. He's damn near 40. No, these guys are bums. You got 33-year-old guys, 32-year-old guys still in their prime getting mopped by a Ukrainian cruiserweight that's touching 40. And the fights ain't even close. He's breaking them down and busting them up, even though he's got huge size disadvantages with him. Tyson Fury towering over him, hanging on him. He's still beating his ass up. You got 6'5", muscled up to the core AJ, and he's still beating them up. No, I'm telling you what the UK fighters are. They're a bunch of juiced up. They were a bunch of juiced up hype jobs because you were able to put big events in Wembley Stadium. So everybody wanted all of the heavyweights to be over there. And then the Ukrainian came and destroyed your whole lineup, the whole thing. There's nothing even left in the heavyweight division. No fights left. It's so bad that they want him to fight Moses Atumwa.
That's not true. There's not no fights left. I disagree there. I disagree big time.
What fights? What's the mystery? Who's going to beat Alexander Usyk?
No, I think he should retire. I think someone.
You want him to retire? I'm sure you do.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you want him to retire so the Euro bums can get back at it. No, stay there, man. Keep fighting that dude. No, he need to stay there. Keep fighting. Who's your next guy? Who's your next guy before? Because we know what's going to happen. You guys, once he retires, Tyson Fury's going to pop out. AJ's going to pop out. And all of a sudden, you guys are all going to start fighting each other again for the same titles Usyk had.
I can't speak for anyone else's. Tyson Fury is not my guy. They're not guys to me. They're just boxers. So, but as you said, who's the next guy? The next guy, the hyping up this Moses Atumwa. I think he's really talented. Whether he's going to go
Moses Atumwa will get stopped inside of 4 rounds with Alexander Usyk.
Yes, as Usyk is very good.
No, because he's a kid that has not had any fights. He's not ready.
Of course,
he's got 12. He's got 12 fights, man.
Yeah,
he's not ready.
He's one of the next. That's what I think.
He's got 12 fights. You might as well be talking about Abdullah Mason fighting Terrence Crawford. You might as well be talking about Abdullah Mason fighting Terrence Crawford.
I didn't think
if Moses Atumwa Yeah, he's 20 years old. That's what I said. He's too young. Josh 803. He's too young. And guess what? I bet you money he don't pan out. I'll put money on that. I'll put money on motion. Money. I know what he's gonna do. He's gonna wind up beating Dillian White. And then he's gonna get another big shot, and they're gonna roll him into somebody like Ajit Cabal, or run him into, maybe they'll dig up Tony Yoka. I mean, seriously, bro. The heavyweights are over there, but it's not very good class. They're not good. I'm just telling you, they're not good. Skill-wise, they're not impressive. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, so like I think, like, to kind of wrap it up, I think Usyk should retire, if I'm honest. He's done what he can do. I think the next few fights he takes.
Why do you want him to retire? He's not taking any punishment.
No, but the reason I think, did you see him in the last Dubois fight? He looks slow. He's way out of his prime.
First, he's 40. We already know that. Yeah. But since he's 40, we know he's out of his prime. Right there. That's my point about him being 40. He's been out of his prime. He's 40. 40, you're out of your prime. So you want him, though he's dominating everybody there, you want him to retire.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I think, as he's out of his prime, as you just said, I think the person who beats him, it won't be someone that will beat him on merit. It will be someone that will catch him with a bit.
Bro, can you come on, dog?
What?
You don't see how if he drops the belts, magically those belts become available for UK fighters again? To me, that sounds like a very, very, very convenient desire that you want him to retire. I don't want him to retire. I want him to beat up Tyson Fury again.
Do you want to see that again?
Yep. I love seeing Tyson Fury get beat up by Alexander Usyk. I'm serious. I've loved Alexander Usyk. Alexander Usyk endeared himself to me by whooping all them UK dudes. I never want him to retire. Seriously. You know how happy I am that he slapped around Tyson Fury and he slapped around AJ?
Because I've been watching your channel a while. Yeah, I think you were quite happy.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy about that, dog. Because you guys were the UK people were so disrespectful to Deontay Wilder, so disrespectful to American heavyweights, ducked Luis Ortiz, did all kind of shit. AJ ducked Deontay Wilder, refused to give him a shot at a pound for pound, and you know why he ducked? Because what? Yes, he did. Because that dude was going to get his ass knocked the fuck out. But we'll never know. But we know he's got a glass ass jaw, though, because we saw Andy Ruiz knock his ass out with his glass ass jaw. And we saw Danny Dubois knock his ass out with his glass ass jaw. But Deontay Wilder couldn't have knocked him out knocked that glass ass jaw out. Y'all didn't want to get that man that fight, man, and you stood on that. Y'all stood on that shit.
No, I don't believe that.
You don't believe that he ducked him?
No.
You just think who do you think? Deontay didn't want the fight?
I can't speak for the man's heart and for what he said. I just don't know if.
Of course you don't. But it's just magic that Deontay Wilder, being an absolute killer at the time, with 40 fights, 40 knockouts, 41 fights and 40 knockouts, magically AJ don't want to fight him. And it ain't got nothing to do with the fact that he's comatose in people.
You could say that, but then they didn't fight.
Come on, man. Will you be honest?
No,
just be honest. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Be honest.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest.
And you're trying to tell me that you don't see that AJ didn't, with the glass ass jaw that he has, didn't want to fight somebody like Wilder?
I can understand why you would say he didn't want to fight him because he thought he'd get knocked out. That makes sense. But equally, I could just say Wilder didn't want to fight him for whatever reason. But I think you can look.
No, you can't say that Wilder wouldn't want to fight him for any reason. No, you can't.
I think you can.
I did. Tell me why Deontay Wilder didn't want to fight him.
So, for example, Wilder never, because perhaps his trainers, his people didn't think.
He didn't unify.
He didn't
because he didn't unify. Because Vladimir Klitschko. He didn't unify because Vladimir Klitschko got his hands on the belts. Because when Vladimir retired, Tyson Fury dropped the belts. AJ and those guys ran over there and got in the rankings of those sanctioning bodies. And because AJ was the big draw, AJ got the shots at the title. He didn't unify because AJ wouldn't let him fight.
But wouldn't let him fight.
AJ wouldn't fight him. AJ wanted to unify with AJ. AJ said no.
But I'm talking about Klitschko. Why didn't he unify with Klitschko?
AJ, he couldn't fight Klitschko.
Why?
Because Klitschko was fighting Tyson Fury.
Wait, he fought him in 2015.
He fought him, and then he went years without fighting. Klitschko lost to Tyson Fury, and then he went several years without fighting. Let me tell you something, bro. Deontay Wilder cannot press a magic button and make people fight him. And you guys in the UK have been so unfair to this man. So unfair to this man.
So when
seriously, man, how unfair. To this day, you guys continue to be unfair to this man. There was one fight that had to take place for undisputed. Deontay Wilder had the WBC, AJ had the rest.
Mm-hmm.
AJ was a super champion for the WBA and asked the WBA to give him a mandatory in Povetkin just so he didn't have to go through negotiations with Deontay Wilder. It's shameful what AJ did to Deontay Wilder. Shameful. But you guys still sit up here and act like it was Deontay Wilder's fault. The fact that how many matchroom fights did he make in a row? How many in-house fights did AJ do in a row with Matchroom? Every one of them were under Matchroom's banner. Every one of them. So we're supposed to believe that the financial benefit all went to AJ and Eddie Hearn, because Eddie Hearn got both sides of his fighters fighting each other. I heard Eddie Hearn say after Anthony Joshua beat Vladimir Klitschko that he had a 10-fight plan for AJ, and it did not include Deontay Wilder. And immediately they started trying to make Deontay Wilder versus Dillian White. And they used Dillian White as the person in the WBC rankings. And they said, well, you have to fight Dillian. You have to fight Dillian. You have to fight Dillian. And then these UK dudes created some bullshit narrative that Deontay Wilder was ducking Dillian White.
Didn't he say he doesn't
want
to fight him?
He did. Deontay Wilder did say he would fight Dillian White. He said, if Dillian White beats Luis Ortiz, then I'll fight Dillian White.
Why does he have to jump through those hoops? I don't understand.
What?
Why does he have to jump through those hoops?
Why does because Deontay had a mandatory.
So you're saying that if he beat
Deontay Wilder had a mandatory by the name of Dominic Brazil.
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder said, if Dillian White fights Dominic Brazil and gets rid of my mandatory for me, then I will fight him. But if Dillian doesn't fight Dominic Brazil, then I have to fight Dominic Brazil.
Wait,
so he fought Dominic Brazil.
He said Luis Ortiz. You said Wilder told
man, you can stop this shit. You can just stop this shit. Your boy's a fucking duck, flat out.
I don't have a boy.
I don't have to justify. I don't have to justify every move Deontay Wilder made. And then you say, well, he could have done something else. He could have done something else. He could have done something else.
I haven't made that yet. I haven't been able to make it.
Yes, you have.
I haven't been able to make it yet. I haven't even gotten there.
Go ahead.
What I was saying is you said Wilder told White he was going to have to fight Luis Ortiz. Why did White have to do that?
He told him that I'm going to fight Luis Ortiz in a rematch. Yeah. Because he fought Luis Ortiz the first time. People said that he got a gift because in the 5th round, he got extra time. So he was going to rematch Luis Ortiz. He said, Dillian, I'll fight you instead of Luis Ortiz if you beat Luis Ortiz. So Dillian White refused to fight Luis Ortiz. So Deontay fought Luis Ortiz for the 2nd time. But Deontay told Dillian White, I'll fight you if you beat Luis Ortiz, but I owe Luis Ortiz a rematch. So he took the rematch. Dillian was good. Dillian was the guy that Eddie Hearn was trying to get to fight Deontay, not AJ. Not AJ. AJ's promoter was actively pushing for Deontay to fight Dillian White. That tells you that AJ's promoter was not trying to have Deontay Wilder fight AJ.
Yeah, I don't know about it. I don't know
yeah, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. No, yes, you do. You're a reasonable person. You know. That's why you can't think of anything. because
No.
you know.
No, why
No,
don't
kind. Look. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna bring up. Come on. I'm gonna let you go. But I'm gonna need you to be a little bit more of an honest camper next time, bro. Okay? Because you know full well there's no argument out there for AJ not having ducked Deontay Wilder because it was open to him and he said no to it. And his promoter tried to force Deontay Wilder to fight Dillian White, somebody else under his umbrella, not AJ. And AJ came to the United States to fight Jarrell Big Baby Miller in his debut. Big Baby Miller got put out. Andy Ruiz was given the fight because they thought it was an easy fight, and his glass jaw got exposed. The same glass jaw that everybody knew he had because he got dropped by Klitschko and was lucky to get up and win that fight against Klitschko.
Hey, before you let him go, show those pictures I just sent, those GIFs. Those will expose this guy's gaslighting because everybody knows it was fair that Wilder was ducked by AJ and Eddie Hearns, and Dillian White was his bodyguard. Put that bodyguard picture for him, Fanon. I just sent you emailed you the pictures. Put that for this guy. The bodyguard picture.
Oh, I got it. Oh, this one.
The Three Stooges, that's when Bellew, everybody knows Bellew was calling out Wilder, and then when Wilder met him, he was like, Bellew ducked. He said he had 12-inch arms, or he said his arms were around my neck. You remember that, Fanon, and this guy remembers that too.
Bellew didn't want to fight Wilder. That wasn't real. No.
What did you say?
Bellew did not. You think Tony Bellew wanted to fight Wilder? He was just saying that for the cameras. Didn't believe that.
Dude, they don't believe half the shit that they say about Deontay Wilder. That's the point. You guys say a lot of shit you don't believe about Deontay Wilder. Of course.
Ultimately, I just don't think he was as hard done by as you're making it out. I just don't believe
Dude,
that.
you know he's extremely hard done by.
The
Because you
bodyguard.
guys lied on him, man.
The bodyguard. I didn't mean to interrupt you. The bodyguard photo, the last one. Show him that bodyguard. The bodyguard, Kevin Costner, Whitney Houston, rest in peace. That one with Dillian White superimposed. That one. It's the last picture up there. Show him, because this is exactly what happened with D-Ball, Dillian, the delusional Drucky Ducker, Wilder, and AJ. It's the last one.
Not have seen it. I only got two. I got one where they're driving through a park. I got that.
Okay, I got to send it again. Let me send it again. Continue while I'm sending it. It didn't. I sent too many at a time, so it didn't send all of them.
Yeah. Anyway, man. Yeah. Come on, man. Be honest about this shit, man.
Everybody. Who goes to the WBA begging for a mandatory? And Alexander Petvetkin, who's a drug cheat, and who goes to the WBA when Wilder's fighting Luis Ortiz for the WBC? Don't forget this, Fanon. Wilder was fighting Luis Ortiz, and then Luis Ortiz tested positive for drug testing, and Eddie Hearns and AJ went to the WBA begging that they remove Luis Ortiz as AJ's mandatory. Don't forget that, Fanon. Who does that?
Yeah, I remember that. And they signed him, and I remember what they said about AJ. They were like about Luis Ortiz. They signed Luis Ortiz, and then Luis Ortiz, I think he might have went the distance with somebody. And AJ and Eddie Hearn said, "See, that's why we're not going to give him any more fights because that's not entertaining." He basically called him a boring fighter and said that's why he's not going to give him any more fights. AJ, he basically just swept Luis Ortiz under the rug. Because Luis Ortiz was supposed to be able to fight AJ. So it was both Luis Ortiz and Deontay Wilder that he wouldn't fight.
Didn't he offer Luis Ortiz the fight?
He did not.
No.
That's a lie.
So if I can prove that.
Let me tell you something, and I'm going to tell you this, and I mean it. I'm not interested in any games. Eddie Hearn can send an offer to somebody for $2, and the person says no, and then all of a sudden they made him an offer. I don't care about Eddie Hearn making offers. Eddie Hearn making a bunch of offers he doesn't think people are going to accept. They do it all the time so that you can label somebody a duck. I'm not going to deny that there's a bunch of people saying that they offered this, they offered that, they did this and that. At the end of the day, I know this. AJ did not want to fight Deontay Wilder. They went out of their way not to fight him. And they did all kind of things to make it look like they wanted to fight him, but they had no intention on ever doing it.
Things like
no thank you. So no thank you to you showing me some isolated bit of information that may make, because what do you call it? You do where you cover your tracks. I don't give a fuck about people covering their tracks, covering their ass. I don't care. I know,
it's a poison pill.
I watched it the whole time. I listened and watched for the whole time. I'm a huge Deontay Wilder fan. I thought that Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury were going to fight for undisputed a long time before that, but Tyson Fury lost all his belts. So when AJ got all the belts, I saw how AJ collected all the belts. Matchroom collected all those belts for AJ, and they wanted to make AJ the biggest star in boxing. He was the big. Carissa Shields was damn near jerking off to him every day and screaming how beautiful he was and all that shit. You know?
She's like, he's so beautiful. His muscles are so big and all this. It's like she was like wanting to have sex with the guy. Clarissa Shields was all over this guy. The Fanon, I just sent the picture. Show it to him. It's the bodyguard one. I just emailed you. It's 2 of them. They just came through. I sent so many of them at one time they couldn't come through. But show him the bodyguard one. This is exactly what Hearn did. D-Ball Dillian is AJ's bodyguard. Whitney Houston, Kevin Costner, bitches. That's exactly what happened. Nobody tell me that this guy wasn't ducking Deontay. Nobody tell me. D-Ball Dillian was Kevin Costner in the bodyguard. That is facts, Fanon. You can make a thumbnail off of that. That's mine, but you can put it out there. I signed it over to you for anybody who's gaslighting and trying to rewrite history on these jabronis. That's your property, Fanon, because that's exactly what happened. It was Kevin Costner, Whitney Houston, and the bodyguard is how they used D-Ball Dillian to keep him away, AJ away from Wilder. And even Wilder went over that said, I'll take your damn flat fee for $12 million. Don't forget that, Fanon. Wilder said, I'm worth more than $12 million. And Carl Frock called out Eddie Hearns and AJ for ducking Wilder. And he said, give him more. And Wilder said, fuck it. I'll be your Huckleberry. I'll even take the $12 million poison pill contract that you want to give me. Because that's what they tried to do to Deontay. Poison pill contract. And Deontay said, I'll take the flat fee. And they still ducked his ass. Yeah, boy.
Come on, feeling it.
Those are facts. Nothing worse than people rewriting history. How can you go to the WBA asking for a mandatory as a super champion? Unprecedented. Unfreaking precedented.
Yeah,
how can you?
Right. They said that they gave him Deontay an offer, like say it was like on Friday or Monday or something, and then they said they magically have until Wednesday to execute it. Otherwise, they have to go to the mandatory. So I think instead of 2 days, they did it the very next day and said, okay, yeah, we got a mandatory. It was like incredibly obvious that they were trying to, they didn't want that fight, man.
It was a poison pill contract.
My question is, why is it so important for y'all to act like Deontay Wilder did not get ducked by that man? Because he obviously did.
You asking me?
Yeah. Like, why? Why are you refusing to believe this? Shit's amazing to me. It's right there.
I just don't believe it. I can see what I've seen, and I just
like you don't believe it in your heart. Like the feeling doesn't feel good to you.
No, just the evidence. I don't know about that, but from what I've seen, the evidence, I just don't see how you can look at everything that occurred and say Anthony Joshua didn't want to fight him.
Besides the fact that he didn't fight him.
Besides that, yeah.
Ben Shapiro says facts don't care about your feelings. And we've laid out the facts. Ben Shapiro has a famous quote. Facts don't care about your feelings, bro. AJ ducked this guy horrendously. Ducked him for years. They could have had 3 fights. They could have had a fight in the UK, in America. Deontay was willing to do that. And they could have had a rumble in the jungle in Democratic Republic of Congo or one in Nigeria. Deontay even said, I'll go to Yoruba land. I'll go to see your people where the Yorubas are in Southwest Nigeria. And I'll go fight you there. And this guy ducked, man. We could have had 3 fights with these guys and your boy ducked. Deontay took the poison pill contract that Eddie Hearn gaslighted him. He took it and they still ducked him, Fanon.
Wait, you said they could have had a fight in Congo. What was that on the table? What do you mean?
I'm saying that there could have been a rumble in the jungle too. We could have had a trilogy with the amount of times and the amount of years that AJ ducked Wilder and the maneuvering that they did. They ducked Wilder. The facts are there. Luis Ortiz was AJ's mandatory, and Wilder said, AJ's ducking me. I'll take on Luis Ortiz. Everybody in the UK and their mom was like, why isn't Wilder fighting Ortiz? Wilder's ducking Ortiz. Luis Ortiz, Luis Ortiz, Luis Ortiz. They were putting Ortiz, who was AJ's business, because that was AJ's WBA mandatory. And Wilder said, okay, AJ's not wanting to fight me. I'll fight Luis Ortiz. I'm looking for that fight. I'll take it off your plate. Luis Ortiz tests positive for the drugs, which we later found out was blood pressure medicine. And Eddie Hearns take the unprecedented step, Fanon, of going to the WBA and asking for Luis Ortiz to be removed as AJ's mandatory, despite the fact that it was a WBC clean boxing program test that he failed. And what did the WBA under Gilberto Mendoza do, Fanon? They removed Luis Ortiz as AJ's mandatory because AJ never wanted to fight Luis Ortiz. And as soon as Wilder beats Luis Ortiz, what does the narrative become? Oh, Luis Ortiz is 70 years old. Luis Ortiz is a dinosaur. Luis Ortiz, nobody wants to see Wilder versus Luis Ortiz. He's a bum. He fought nobody. They moved the goalpost and gaslight constantly when it came to Wilder, Fanon, and Luis Ortiz because AJ ducked them both. Just like Eddie Hearns did the same thing when he signed Boo Boo Andrade, and he kept Boo Boo Andrade away from Bum Lufkin and Clenelho. He did the same thing with Luis Ortiz and Boo Boo Andrade. The same playbook, Fanon. It's there. And I'm just like Ben Shapiro says, facts don't care about your feelings because everything I've laid out and Fanon has laid out has been fucking facts.
Yeah, your boy looking bad, dog. Seriously.
I said he's not my boy. They're not my boys. They're just boxers. That's the truth. They're boxers from my country. They're not my boys.
Dog. You can say that. That's a nice thing to say, but it ain't reflecting in what you're talking about. And see, and watch his statement here. Zulu Lion said, I'm so glad folks on our side have a great memory. I'm telling you, I know why Kamal can remember this. Number one, we went over this shit with a fine-tooth comb when it was happening. And we don't lie. So we don't have to remember lies. We can remember what actually happened like that. From the UK side, I'm quite sure that you thought AJ was just the king of the world. And that, no, yeah, obviously he would fight Deontay. Deontay's not any good. So if it didn't happen, it had to be Deontay's fault. It couldn't be. But then you now know that AJ ain't got no chin. And they knew AJ didn't have a chin then. And nobody without a chin is going to get in the ring with Deontay because you're going to get hit. If you don't have a chin, you're going to get knocked the fuck out. So he didn't want to get knocked the fuck out. That's the way it looks in America. I think that's and I think that's fair from the, let me put it this way, from the American situation point of view, AJ looked like a bitch that ducked him because he didn't want that very dangerous man in the ring with him.
From Carl Frock. Carl Frock is not from the United States. Carl Frock said the same thing. Carl Frock said that AJ and Eddie Hearn were playing games with Deontay Wilder. When they tried to set up Deontay Wilder, Fanon, when he was doing the commentary for Sky Sports, remember when he was doing AJ's fights? And then D-Ball Dillian said he was going to show up. And then Wilder was like, no, I'm not going to show up to an ambush. And Carl Frock called them out on their bullshit. So it wasn't just in the United States that people were seeing that AJ was ducking. It was Carl Frock, who was Eddie Hearn's boy. Carl Frock said they need to stop ducking Wilder. Carl Frock said they need to show Wilder some respect. Carl Frock called out Tony Bellew, that dipshit, that duck artist. He called out his antics. So Carl Frock in the UK called out their bullshit. So
hey,
it
man,
wasn't just America.
Come on. Did you know that Tony Bellew was black?
Yeah, I thought he was black, mixed, something. He looks like he's like.
Yeah, I didn't know. It was hard for me to see it at first, but I was like, damn. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah, something like that.
Carl Frock. So don't just say America, Fanon, because I don't know if you remember this. Carl Frock called out their antics.
Yeah, Carl Frock shoots from the hip. I remember Carl Frock saying that. There's a lot of people from the UK saying it too. A whole bunch of people in the UK like, nah, you're dead. Nah, they're this. But honestly, Eddie Hearn said it himself. He said, I have a 10-fight plan for AJ, and Deontay Wilder's not in it. He said it's not about one big fight. It's about 10 fights. He gave an interview on IFL TV the day after he beat Vladimir Klitschko. And he was talking to IFL TV and gave him a very long interview and was very direct about the AJ 10 fight plan. He said then they didn't have an intention to fight Deontay Wilder because they're not going to get to 10 fights. They figured that they had already crossed over. They're now a huge star. They beat Vladimir Klitschko in a really big fight on Showtime and HBO, and they thought that his star was there. So they didn't want to risk it against Deontay.
So would you say that what AJ's career, what fight, from which fight did he say that, sorry?
He said that after he beat Vitaly Klitschko. After he beat Vladimir Klitschko. So
would you say his career from then was manufactured from that point on?
I think AJ's manufactured, period, since the Olympics.
From the beginning, he was manufactured.
Yeah,
he shouldn't even won that gold medal. He lost that match for the gold medal. They gave it to him.
Yeah, so he got the gold medal, but I knew that they were fixing him when they lied about him out sprinting Mo Farah. I was like, they had this Mo Farah. Are you familiar with Mo Farah? The Olympic marathon runner?
Me.
Or do you know there's a guy named Mo Farah?
Of course, yeah, from England.
Yeah, Mo Farah. So I'm a track runner. Okay. That's my sport. I ran track. And I know that those marathoners they are fast as shit. The world class, like a world class 500 meter runner, 10K runner, bro, if you run against them in a 100 meter dash and you're just a normal person, they will blow you the fuck out. They are fast as shit because so anyway, AJ 6'5" runs an 11.2, right? Mo Farah lost by 50 yards to AJ. And I'm like, hold on. If you ran an 11.2, Mo Farah lost by 50 yards, bro. You're telling me Mo Farah's running a 22-second 100 meter? I can do that shit. It's 50 years old, bro. No, they wanted him to look like he was some star, and they were going to build AJ, the Olympic star. They were going to build him the same way that they built Ali after Ali won his Olympic gold medal. That's what they're doing with AJ. And they thought AJ was going to be the pretty boy, he was the upstanding, polite, suit and tie wearing Brit. And then they wanted that picture more than they want the wild Deontay Wilder screaming bomb squad, dark-skinned dude with braids and all that shit and all the tattoos. They don't want that. They wanted him. So they got the good boy, and they didn't let the good boy fight the bad guy. But guess what? If he was going to be Ali, he had to face his Sonny Liston. And that was what Deontay Wilder was at the time. He was a Sonny Liston, knocking out everybody and hurting everybody that came around. But your golden boy didn't want to fight Sonny Liston. But you know why? Because there's 4 belts available, so fuck Sonny Liston. That's why I think AJ's a bitch for doing that. Because Deontay was Sonny Liston, the knockout big killer. And it was his opportunity to be the golden boy and to beat him, but he didn't take the fight. That's like seriously, it's like Cassius Clay not saying, no, there's 2 belts. You got Sonny Liston with the WBC. You got Floyd Patterson with the other 3. He beats Ali, beats up Floyd Patterson, but he don't want to ever fight Sonny Liston. That's the shame. That's a shame on Anthony Joshua.
And don't forget when Anthony let it slip in the interview, you could see it in his eyes when he let the figure slip. He said, Wilder wants to fight me. I want $50 million and I'll sign up to fight Wilder tomorrow. And you could see that in that Ducker's eyes that he didn't want to say the figure. In that interview, go back to watch the tape, roll the tape. AJ said that. What happened the next day? Wilder said, AJ, you want $50 million? I got $50 million. It's in the bag. And AJ ran away from his own fucking offer. Same way Kathy ducked her own purse bid when she called for Sergey KKK Kovalev to fight Adonis Stevenson.
But you missing something, though. Don't forget, Kamal, that they came with where can that nigga possibly find $50 million from? Mike the Kid, I don't know. You have to show me your face, bro.
He's probably a troll, UK troll. Mike the Kid is probably a troll.
Yeah, I remember around now. I think it was like 2018 times, and I think Wilder said he's going to give him $50 million. He said he emailed Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn said, proof of funds.
Yeah,
No,
dude.
Eddie Hearn said he's a guy from Alabama. No,
Where's he gonna get the money?
Please say what this gaslighting motherfucker said. Sorry for the French, Fanon. Eddie Hearn said, "How is some guy from Alabama?" You know, as if somebody from Alabama can't have $50 million.
Can't
They're
have
going to
$50
come up with
million.
$50 million. That's what
Like,
Eddie Hearn said.
they
It's
got billionaires in
gaslighter.
Atlanta. They got billionaires. They got billionaires. They got billionaires in Alabama. What are you talking about? How can somebody from Alabama come up with $50 million? How can Al Haymon come up with $50 million? That's what it really was like. How could Al Haymon come up with $50 million? Crazy.
And that's the real reason why they didn't
Hold on,
like
real quick.
Wilder. They didn't like Wilder because it was two black dudes. Same thing with Crawford and Spence, Fanon. When it's two black fighters and they can't play the race card, they go behind the scenes. These guys are so devious and so nefarious. These are such evil people, Fanon. When it's two black fighters, they want to pick between the two. They say, okay, who's with Al Haymon? We'll use terms like Black Hitler, which are really just cold dog whistles for the N-word. And they'll choose the one that's not with Al Haymon, and they'll say, we'll cheer for him. So when it came to Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, they chose Terrence Crawford. When it came to Anthony Joshua and Wilder, they chose AJ.
Come on. Hold on. Slow down for a second. Hold on. Mike the Kid, how can I help you?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
What's going on, Fanon? Big fan of your channel, man. Really appreciate what you do. But
Appreciate you, man.
Some things just don't make sense to me. For example, like fighters with Shakur and like Devin Haney. For example, Tank just fought Lamont, right? And then I remember everyone was saying, "Who's Lamont? Lamont's a nobody, or Lamont's this." And then now everyone's trying to fight Lamont. So which one was it? Was he a nobody before? You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. So it's just, I don't know. Some things to me they just don't add up. How do you say a dude's a nobody from the face of the? My bad. Let me get my words together. I'm just kind of nervous being up here.
No, you man, take your time.
So, for example, how is a face of boxing, Gervonta Tank Davis, fighting a nobody, all of a sudden Lamont Roach, and now all of a sudden the people that are starting to come up like Shakur, things like that, now they want to fight this supposed nobody. What does that prove to them if he was a nobody in the beginning?
It's just convenient. It's like he's conveniently nobody when he's fighting Gervonta because you don't want anybody to buy Gervonta's fight. But they're lying to begin with. But then they know once Gervonta fights Lamont, now Lamont is well known because he fought Gervonta. So since Gervonta made him more well known, now they want to fight him. But the simple progression of it tells you that a nobody will become a somebody if they fight Gervonta, which tells you that Gervonta can fight whoever Gervonta wants because they are going to watch him because they watch Gervonta. Gervonta is a very, very powerful central figure in boxing right now, man. Really, truly is. But people are trying to act like they want to act like he doesn't exist, but yet benefit from his presence at the same time. Let me repeat. They want to behave and act like the man doesn't exist at all, but yet they still want to take the benefit from his existence. That's what they're doing. They want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to shit on his popularity, but then they want to take advantage of his popularity when it suits them. Is that a fair answer to the question?
Yeah, it is. Thank you for your answer. It is. It just doesn't make sense though, because everyone just questions his resume. He hasn't fought anybody, but then all these fighters are trying to fight the people he fought.
Same people. But
So
and
it's just like-
the thing is, who these people. Gervonta Davis is big enough where he can fight somebody, and people want to see him fight. And they don't. But people don't. You got to do all kind of extra goofy shit to get somebody to watch a Shakur fight, or to get somebody to watch a Devin fight. They just have to do a lot of goofy out of the ring type shit, which means that they're going to have to clout chase off people that are associated with Gervonta. So they'll sell, like you want to sell a video. So you hear all of a sudden Lamont Roach is fighting Pitbull, right? Why? Because Gervonta put weight on the name of both Pitbull Cruz and Lamont Roach. And also remember that once they're on the stage with Gervonta, they're on the biggest stage in boxing. Nobody's watching these DAZN fights. They're not watching them. People are saying they're watching them, but they're just inundating the media with a bunch of bots saying that they watched them or didn't watch them. If you ask these people carefully enough.
No,
But yeah, that's what it is. He's the king of American boxing. There's nobody higher right now than in American boxing than Gervonta Davis is. Canelo doesn't move the needle anymore.
I agree with that. Yeah, to me, no one's on Tank's level, man. Like, Tank's my favorite fighter. Like to watch him. It's funny because all these people that bash him still end up going to his fights, which is the funny thing. So it's kind of, I don't know. You got to just make things make sense sometimes. Like, if he's fighting nobodies, then why are you guys trying to fight him or fight the nobodies that he's fighting? So it's just, even to the fans, like, POV, some things just don't make sense. But to me, Gervonta Tank Davis is truly the face of boxing. Thank you for letting me come up here, Fanon. Really like
Mike the Kid,
your channel.
Thank you for coming by, man, and thank you so much for not being a troll. That was an intelligent, and I enjoyed that conversation. Please come back.
I will. Thank you very much for having me on.
Anytime, brother. Peace.
Take care.
Go ahead, come on. I'm sorry, I just didn't want him to wait a long time. You there, come on?
No, yeah, I was just saying, Fanon, that the same playbook, just like I exposed the playbook that Eddie Hearn used with Boo Boo Andre when it came to Canelo and Bum Lufkin, where he controlled their careers. Because remember, he controlled their careers when he re-signed Boo Boo Andre, and everybody's like, wow, they got all the pieces at middleweight. Canelo says he wants undisputed. We're going to finally get Canelo versus Andre. Canelo, out of his own mouth, said, I don't care who has this last title. I want it. And then he ducked Andre. And then Canelo ducked Andre, Fanon, and he told Bum Lufkin to fight Andre. He said, you go beat Andre, I'll give you the trilogy that DAZN wants. And Bum Lufkin ducked him. So the same playbook that they used with Luis Ortiz and Deontay Wilder, with Luis Ortiz and AJ, they used when they re-signed Boo Boo Andre, and they had Canelo and they had Bum Lufkin on the same side of the street. So this Eddie Hearn stuff. It's the same playbook, Fanon. The same thing this guy has gaslit and used the whole time. There's nothing new under the sun. That's a famous proverb, Bible verse, whatever you want to take it. Eddie Hearn has the same MO, Fanon. The same thing. These evil people in corporate media, when they're two black fighters that they pitch against each other, who do they choose, Fanon? Is it the one affiliated with the PBC and Al Haymon? Or is it the one beyond this? One's darker than the other. One is uncontrollable, this and that. I'm not even getting into those weeds. When it's two fighters and one is with the PBC, with Al Haymon, and one is not, who does corporate media and their goons in the YouTube echo chamber always choose, Fanon?
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed what you said because I was looking up Fire Stick.
When it's goons, when it's these goons in corporate media and they're cheerleaders and they're paid bots in these YouTube echo chambers, and I'm not mentioning any content creators' names, but we know who's paid off. When it's two black fighters, so they can't use the racial angle in the ring, and one is affiliated with Al Haymon and one is not, who do these racist goons in corporate media and their stooges in the YouTube echo chambers, who do they side with, Fanon, when it's out of the ring because they can't use the racial angle in the ring? Who do they side with?
They go side with Eddie Hearn. They side with them.
So they side with Terrence Crawford when it came to Errol Spence because they couldn't use the racial angle between the two of them.
Eddie Hearn's more popular than Al Haymon.
Hold on, say that again.
I think Eddie Hearn's more popular than Al Haymon.
Is he more? Hold on, stop. Is Eddie Hearn more popular?
More liked.
Nobody's met Al Haymon.
No, because you're saying that they pick Hearn over Haymon fighters because of a racial issue, and I'm thinking Al Haymon, the reputation he has, I'd say people love him. Like, he doesn't get interviewed in that, but he's not a.
You're just not from the United States, so you don't get it. That's a U.S. thing. So I'll explain it to you. Yeah. In the United States, there's good black people and bad black people. The bad black people, the media doesn't like them because they are too rebellious. So somebody like a Deontay Wilder is too rebellious. Yeah. Somebody like Al Haymon is not liked because Al Haymon was rebellious. Al Haymon took a lot of fighters and created the most successful platform promotional company that there is in boxing, without a doubt. If you look at what Al Haymon has achieved and what Eddie Hearn has achieved, there's no comparison between the two. Eddie Hearn can't tie Al Haymon's shoes. Like, literally. If you want to talk, like, compare what Al Haymon has done in his career and what Eddie Hearn has done, and then look at the respect Eddie Hearn has and the respect that Al has, it's ridiculous. Because Al Haymon is so much more accomplished than Eddie Hearn. It's ridiculous. But yet, Al Haymon is demonized. And Eddie Hearn came to the United States and the media celebrated him. But they demonized Al. When Al is the most successful boxing person that there is in the world, easy. Nobody has put on as big a fights as he's put on. No one. Turki Al-Sheikh has spent all his money and has never come close to putting on the events as the successful events as Al Haymon has. But yet they never treated Al Haymon like he was the savior. They treated him like he was the devil and somebody to get rid of. That's what happens in the United States when you're not a good boy and you're black. And that's what we see with Gervonta right now. Gervonta's not a good boy. So Devin's a good boy. Devin trying to be a good boy, but he sucks at being one because his daddy's obnoxious. But still, that's how it is in the United States. And that's how it's been. That Floyd Mayweather Jr. had to play up the bad guy role and all the success that he had, right? That's Al Haymon behind all of that. So no, you guys, if you're not from the United States, maybe it's different than the UK. I doubt it. You guys act like it's different. I doubt that it's different.
I just said this is, we have that same thing where you have to kind of, if you're too braggadocious and black, you do get.
You got to act like a good boy.
Yeah.
And Al Haymon is not a good boy. Al Haymon owns his own business. Al Haymon is more as successful in music as he is in boxing. You guys, they should be celebrating Al Haymon for what he did for with the PBC. But the media, all they talk. How many times have you heard Al Haymon going out of business? Have you heard about the PBC going broke?
I think I've heard Eddie Hearn say, Frank Warren.
Yeah, so
every few months going out of business.
Yeah, they're going out of, but they seem to continue to do shows. But they were going out of business. Guess who's really in trouble? Guess who's really in trouble of going out of business?
Go on.
Top Rank and Matchroom. Matchroom is in real jeopardy. If Turki Al-Sheikh pulls a plug on that man's shit is over with. Just allow Turki Al-Sheikh to destroy his stable. And that's what he gets, in my personal opinion. What?
When you say destroy his stable, what do you mean?
I mean, they ran through all of his fighters. That's what I mean. There's no top Matchroom fighters. Can you name one?
Matchroom?
A top, I say, okay, let me repeat this. I need for you to name a top fighter. Bam is a good fighter. He's not a top fighter.
Top is in popular.
And he's really not, and truth be told, he's not really a Matchroom fighter. He is, but he's not. Okay? He's a Matchroom USA fighter. So yeah, they're putting on some events in the United States with Bam. But that's not the core of Matchroom's business. The core of Matchroom business is in the UK. Boots and Shakur, though, that's Matchroom USA. And they're not doing anything with them either. And those guys need to leave. And matter of fact, I don't even consider Eddie to be the promoter of Shakur.
I'm pretty sure he's not a contract.
Turkey is funding those fights. All he is the promoter of name with those guys. Turkey's paying the money.
And Shakur is not even a main event fighter. He's on the undercards of undercards. How are we talking Shakur Stevenson?
Yes, true.
People are booing him. They're talking about how he's boring. They're walking out of his fights. The guy's making a fool of himself, dissing Ray Robinson. People are calling him out on that. Don't use Shakur Stevenson. He's talking about his hand is injured. He's releasing sparring footage of him hitting somebody with a body shot and getting his hand injured. Don't even use Shakur Stevenson as somebody that he's at the top level. He's really popular. He's not anywhere near to Tank Davis. A side Tank Davis, Z side Shakur.
Or to put it this way, they do not replace Anthony Joshua for Matchroom.
No, no,
they don't.
Not in.
No. Yeah, they do not. They do not. That is not what you call a suitable replacement for what they lost with AJ, Dillian White. All of their 126 pounders are gone. Laywood and I don't, because I get kind of confused sometimes as to who is a Queensland and who is Matchroom. But all those guys, they got ran out by a bunch of journeyman Mexicans out of 126. So no, it's just Eddie Hearns, and Eddie Hearn said it himself. Eddie's like, the problem with the turkey cards is I can't get anybody to fight with me off the turkey cards. So I'm trying to put on fights in the UK, and these fighters are telling me, no, I want to wait to fight for Turkey. So pretty much Turkey paying this money to these fighters gutted Eddie Hearn. And you can listen to Eddie Hearn's tone when he's talking about Turkey. He basically told Ari Emanuel that Turkey Al-Sheikh couldn't hold his jock when it comes to promotions. And it might be true, but here's the thing. Eddie Hearn can't carry Al Haymon's jock strap. So nigga, get out the United States is my personal opinion. I don't think we'd have a problem if Eddie would just get out of the U.S. and Turkey would get out of the U.S. and just let us do our own thing. UK does their thing, and Saudi Arabia can have fighters go over there. But this shit is just, anyway, we'll see how it goes.
What do you mean problem? Like, is it, you don't mean like cross-promotional events? Do you mean like he's overstepping, as in he being Turkey?
What do you mean?
Like, you said if Turkey left the US, there'd be no problems. Like, problems what? Like, do you think?
No, I'm saying, look, what I'm saying, there's always going to be problems. There's never going to be a situation where there's not a problem. There's always going to be problems to handle. But the thing with Turkey is going to fucking get somebody killed, number one. Turkey is fixing fights, number two. He's incredibly arbitrary with his decisions and unreliable, and generally an unreliable person. So those personal characteristics, for anybody working with him, they're not going to be able to consistently plan moving forward anything, because they're going to totally be subservient to Turkey Al-Sheikh. So I would prefer if Turkey Al-Sheikh would get the fuck out the United States. I really would. I would appreciate if our American fighters could fight each other in the United States and not have this idea that somehow we need to be global, because that global is garbage. Global is some bullshit that people say when they're really just trying to extract money out of your country. They want to be international. We want to internationalize your money is what they want to do. So I would prefer to have cards in the United States, and I'm just being flat with you. We don't need UK fighters. In my personal opinion, you guys aren't very good. Every once in a while, you'll get somebody, but I much prefer to watch Mexican fighters and Black American fighters, Puerto Rican fighters, and fighters that, generally speak, in the United States fight one another. And I think the United States, that the promotion for boxing to American fight fans should be primarily for American fighters. We should not be promoting Saudi Arabian government officials. We should not be promoting fighters and spending all our energies trying to promote Ukrainian heavyweights. It's never going to work for the boxing in the United States. Ring Magazine is a national paper. It was not something that was international, but the boxing writers and all that want to make everything global. But like I said yesterday, politics is always local. You need local fights. You need local United States fighters fighting US fighters so that we can have local rivalries take place and these fight cards can do well. Like, there's no visibility for Turkey Al-Sheikh to understand how big a fight between Gary Russell Jr. and Gervonta Davis is. And matter of fact, I remember one time, you know who Adi Aladepo is?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Adi Aladepo has a YouTube channel. And I like Adi Aladepo, but he said one of the stupidest shit that I couldn't believe he said it.
What did he say?
But he said before the fight with Errol Spence and Mikey Garcia, he said that fight was not going to be very big because neither one of them have big fan bases. And I was like, what the fuck is this man talking about? That fight's going to be huge between Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence Jr. That's a Mexican and a black from Texas, and Texas is Mexico. So it's clear that Ali Aladepo doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about with American boxing. But guess what? He shouldn't, because he's not from here. Now, if I was to sit there and talk about fights taking place in Cardiff or fights taking place in Sheffield, I don't know where the fuck those places are. I don't know what those people are like. I couldn't tell you how big a fight would be between the number one fighter in Sheffield and the number one fighter in whatever the other fucking whatever it is called. I wouldn't know those things because I'm not from there. But Eddie Hearn thinks he can come from the United States and know United States. Like, he's telling people who's popular and who's not popular and what American fans want and what they don't want. Bro, you're not from here, and it's very, very obvious that you're not from here. Now, he caught a couple dudes. He caught Bam, but dog, he got fucking Jerron by default. He got him by default, and he doesn't know what to do with him. And honestly, I don't think he knows what to do with Bam either.
And he blew $2 billion, Fanon. Don't forget about that. Corporate media want to talk to you and give you endless hit pieces on Al Haymon and bogus stories about Waddell and Reed. How many stories have they done about Eddie Hearn blowing the $2 billion and Lynn Blavnik, the guy behind DAZN, trying to sell DAZN because of the toxic assets that they had, and that's how they got out of the Canelo card? How many stories have they done on that, Fanon?
I haven't seen. I've done some, but I haven't seen many people do them. No.
He's a trust fund kid. Al Haymon built everything by himself. And that's why Fanon, you have my permission to use that as a thumbnail, that bodyguard gif I sent you. That's why it's so poignant, because Al Haymon worked with Whitney Houston. He worked with Michael Jackson in the music industry. Self-made guy. Then he came into boxing and self-made. Eddie Hearn was given everything from his father, and then he was given this $2 billion, signed guys like Michael Hunter, and then dumped them. Signed Subriel Matias, and then gave a fight that nobody was asking for with Subriel Matias and Liam Perro. That wasn't even as mandatory. We didn't even want to see that fight. And now Turkey's talking Dalton Smith, who nobody gives a fuck about. Buckingham Palace guard Dalton Smith, a rugby player. Who the hell is that? When the natural fights to make for Subriel Matias or Gary Antoine Russell or Tiho. So don't even talk to me about who's liked and who's more popular, because while your boy Eddie Hearn, who was a trust fund baby, was supposed to be making Wilder versus Joshua, what was he doing, Fanon? He was doing stunts in New York City, asking people, did they know who Deontay Wilder was? When he had Deontay Wilder even accept the $12 million poison pill contract with no back-end money. So don't tell me about popularity.
Hold on. What's your question, Keon?
Yeah, he said nobody wanted to see Paro versus Matias. That's true. But this is boxing. Paro beat Matias. So isn't that a good thing? We did see the fight, rather than Matias go and get a fight where maybe he beat someone he didn't deserve to. He beat Paro. How's that a bad thing that he fought him? I don't understand.
Because we wanted to see him fight Gary Antoine Russell. That was more relevant in the United States. That's a fight we wanted to see. We wanted Richardson Hitchens at the time was his mandatory. Richardson Hitchens wasn't calling for the fight, but that would have been a bigger fight and a better fight. Okay. And now, and you're asking me about popularity. That was, you brought up popularity to a guy that doesn't give interviews. So I don't know how he's hated. The guy, you don't even see him in the media. And you're comparing them to egomaniacs who have you even talked about, ask Keon about the Tim Tszyu thing, about Turkey disrespecting a warrior, the anti-Tom and Jerry. Ask him about the Tim Tszyu.
Opinion about Turkey.
Turkey disrespected Tim Tszyu. Disrespected the man. Took so much flack, he had to take down the tweet. So don't tell me about fucking popularity when you use people like that and you disrespect Martin Bacoli's 350 pounds. You don't have a backup option and you immediately fly him over there to save your card. Don't tell me about a fucking popularity contest, because what is right is not always popular and what is popular is not always right.
I think
go ahead. I'm listening.
I think you kind of misconstrued what I was asking. You brought up the point that people side with Eddie Hearn ultimately because he's white. And my thing was, if Al Haymon's more popular, how true can that really be? I don't know if they side with Eddie Hearn because he's white, or they side with Eddie Hearn because they don't see Al Haymon. And if you can't form an opinion of a man that dislike him, I wasn't asking because I care who's more popular, really. I was trying to follow your logic. Like, I'm not that invested.
I don't think can you clarify that? You said what did you think Kamal didn't understand?
So Kamal basically said that people like Al Haymon, like Eddie Hearn and his black fighters because they've got a white man behind him. That's correct, right?
No.
What was he saying?
No.
What was he saying?
He didn't say that. He didn't say people like those fighters because they got a white man behind them.
He said if there's two black fighters and one's got Eddie Hearn behind them, one's got Al Haymon, they'll prefer Eddie Hearn because.
Oh, but there he's talking about the media.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, okay. So it's not. You can have somebody at the mainstream media that will support that is a black dude if they are supporting the status quo. That is not what Al Haymon does. They have a concerted effort to tear down Al Haymon. It would not matter whether Al Haymon was a nice guy, a bad guy. It wouldn't matter because the Boxing Writers Association of America, who work as a kind of a unit, right? They switch between different places. One guy can be working for Ring Magazine one week, but the next week they're writing for ESPN. The next week they're working for Yahoo. There's a group of people called the Boxing Writers Association of America. That is who he's referring to as the corporate media, and the different corporate media that are put out there by the fighters. The Boxing Writers Association of America are almost in complete lockstep with trying to run down the PBC because Al Haymon doesn't give them interviews. So that the fact that Al Haymon doesn't have a relationship with the media makes him much more susceptible from attacks by the media. However, the attacks from the media don't affect the actually how well his fighters are doing. Have you ever noticed how long these fighters, how long it is between the time some PBC fighters fight? Keon, have you noticed that they go a while? Because they make a lot of money. Because they actually make a lot of money. And they can afford to take time off, so they take time off.
Don't you dislike that, though? Wouldn't you prefer them to fight more often?
Let me tell you what I would prefer.
That's what I don't like about the PBC.
Let me tell you what I would prefer. I would prefer for the natural order of business to take place without people sticking their thumbs on the scale. Okay? I don't want you sticking your thumbs on the scale and saying, we don't want to see this guy fight this guy. We don't want to see this guy fight that guy. These guys are going broke, trying to instill fear in people to prevent them from signing to the PBC. I don't want any of that type of stuff. It is a fact, however, that when fighters earn a lot of money, that they can let their body rest and they can heal their bodies because they've made a lot of money. I doubt very much that with the frequency with which these people are fighting for Turki Al-Sheikh, that they are actually getting the money that they say that they're getting. But continue to fight that way, and you'll see with the relevant portion of what Turki Al-Sheikh said about Tim Tszyu, that he said that man, because he quit on the stool, was not worth being a sparring partner for the Riyadh season.
Yeah,
that's Turkey insulting Al Haymon. That's Turkey insulting Al Haymon's card. Something Al Haymon and the PBC never do. Ever. You've never heard the PBC. Al Haymon speak. You've never heard anybody from the PBC shit on a Turki Al-Sheikh card. But Turki Al-Sheikh goes out of his way to shit on Gervonta, to threaten all the promoters in the US about how he's going to be taken over. No, bro, I just want him to leave. He can go destroy UK boxing, bro. He can go over there and do that. I like US boxing. I think we're doing particularly well if we could get rid of the Boxing Writers Association of America. If we could get those guys to act right, then all of these fights with Black Americans and Mexican Americans, it would sell a lot better. But they're out for hire for the high. They're out for the highest bidder. And right now, Turki Al-Sheikh is the highest bidder. So Turki Al-Sheikh is getting all of the press, all of the things for their fights, which are fights that people in the United States don't give a fuck about. And when you said Liam Paro, I mean, honestly, bro, you saying Liam Paro is enough. It's not helpful. If you want to make a big fight and really engage fight fans, you take Matias and you put him with Gary Antoine Russell and you throw him in Brooklyn. You throw him right over there.
Fernand, like that, like I can hear that, but doesn't that kind of, you said you don't like the natural scale of things being changed?
Let me tell you, I don't give a shit about the internationalization of American boxing. I can't be more direct.
Yeah, but you said
I don't like the Americanization. I don't like the internationalization of American boxing. I don't like the idea that you have Liam Perro coming in and fighting a Puerto Rican champion, and Americans don't even get to see it. Puerto Ricans don't get to see it because it's on DAZN. It's not nobody gets to see Subriel Matias. If Subriel Matias was fighting Gary Antoine Russell in Brooklyn on Amazon Prime, everybody would get to see it. It's what you call a cooling effect on the sport. When you take Americans out of America and you move them to Saudi Arabia, or when you take Brits and you move Brits into America. Nobody gives a fuck about Liam Perro in America. But people do care about Gary Antoine Russell because he's American. Just like, dude, watch this shit. For years in the UK, you never saw anybody headlining a card in the UK that was not with at least one of them are from the UK. All the time. The UK, if they had a fight in the UK, an American goes over there. Every time they have to fight a UK guy. But you guys want to come over here and not fight Americans. You want to import everybody and then export our money. That money is leaving the United States, leaving our communities. No, I don't want to do that shit. I would rather see a Puerto Rican, a U.S. citizen Puerto Rican, Matias. I would rather see him fight somebody like Gary Antoine Russell. Yes, because it's more popular in the United States and more of my friends would be interested. You're bored. I can't talk to my friends about Liam Perro. I can't do it. They're like, who the fuck is that? But if there's some big event with Gary Russell and Tank, bro, me and my friends, we're all going to talk about it. What Turki Al-Sheikh is doing by moving Canelo out of the United States and into Saudi Arabia on Cinco de Mayo? Come on. Why the fuck would I support somebody taking our fighters and moving them halfway across the world? Why? How does that help me? I'm a boxing content creator. I'm telling you, black boxing fans do not give a fuck about Liam Perro. We won't watch him. So if you don't want people watching boxing, keep putting Liam Perro in there. And if you don't want anybody to watch boxing in the UK, go send Shakur Stevenson over there and have Shakur Stevenson fight in the O2 Arena. So you can see half of that shit empty. Because they're not going to go see him. They're going to go see somebody from Sheffield. Come on, we know the deal over there. UK, they don't have all the cards of local fighters. Hours and hours and hours and hours of local fighters. And guess what they do to the United States? Even on DAZN, our American cards with DAZN now got 15 UK guys on the card. Flying guys in for the UK to pay them money from the United States, and then they fly the money back over there to the UK.
That depends who's promoting the fight, though, isn't it?
No, it doesn't. If the fighter gets paid and he's not from the area, he takes his money home.
No, but I was asking about if it's a matchroom card, then it's a UK promotion agency. Of course, they're going to have UK fighters. That only makes sense. I don't think that's strange.
In the United States?
I don't think that's strange.
It's strange as shit. Why would you fly in a bunch of no names from the UK when you can get no names right there that are cheaper?
Because I'm the UK promoter.
No, stop. I don't even want to get on that, bro. That's called money laundering. Okay. I don't want to get into that. But absolutely, you bring in a bunch of people from the UK into the United States to fight, pay them in US dollars, and they take that money and leave and go back to the UK. For a bunch of fighters that nobody wants to see, you can get a bunch of fighters that nobody wants to see right here in the United States. Plenty of them. You can stack a card full of Mexicans and you wouldn't have to pay the money that you got to pay to the UK dudes. But no, what did Eddie Hearn wanted to do? Eddie Hearn wants to suck as much off that teat as he can possibly get and give it to his UK fighters. No, take your ass back to the UK. We can have fight cards in Texas. Why do we need a bunch of UK dudes on a Texas card? You're not having a bunch of Texas fighters on a Sheffield card, are you?
If an American brought Americans over, I would expect
you
them.
never let us do it. Every time an American fighter goes over there, they have to fight a Brit, bro. I've been watching British boxing for decades. Anytime a U.S. fighter goes over there, they're fighting a Brit. The Brit is getting a cut of the money, and that money ain't leaving Britain. They are not putting on fights in Britain between Muhammad Ali and Michael. That's why Michael, when Ali went to, who did he fight? He fought Bob, whatever the guy's name that knocked him down. He got whatever his name is. What's his name?
Henry Cooper.
Henry Cooper. He had to fight Henry Cooper. He didn't take Joe Frazier over there. No, he fought somebody. The only time he went and fought places like Filipino in the Philippines, they don't have any heavyweights. They're too small. So he went to all kind of different places with him. But no, you're not. Eddie Hearn is trying to take the money. Look, let's be real. If you have a budget for a fight, you decide that you're going to spend half your budget with UK fighters. That's less money out of that budget for American fighters. For every UK fighter that gets paid on an American card is a United States fighter that doesn't. Every time. But it's global. The only shit you're globalizing is our money. And guess what? You're extorting the shit out of us for those fights on DAZN, wanting to double and triple charge. You know that the money in boxing is in the United States, where you can actually make money. And they're trying to gut it so that they can come in and make the money. But it'll never work, bro, because we're never going to be paying for Liam and Callum Smith, bro. Shit just doesn't work. Seriously. And the UFC is failing too. The UFC is failing. Those guys are gutted. I was just waiting for it because that was who was competing with boxing also. Let's not forget that boxing originally got a big hit because the UFC was taking away fans. But now the UFC is losing their fans because they don't want to see that shit.
Yes, because they just don't have a lot of stars anymore, to be honest. That's what.
Bro, they do not have. Let me tell you who runs entertainment. Black culture is an international super weapon. Our culture. Black people in America run the entertainment. We are the entertainers. And in the United States, they want to see black champions. White people want to see great black champions. Black people want to see great black champions. But people from outside the United States want access to the money, and they keep cock blocking it. They keep cock blocking it with the Boxing Writers Association of America specifically. They keep cock blocking it. Every time we get a great black champion, there's a negative campaign to run them down and run their name into the ground. Just like what's going on with Gervonta Davis. It is a calculated campaign to run his name down into the ground. You guys want access to our culture, but you don't want the people. So you get these bootlicking Uncle Toms like Bug Eyes out here playing the fucking buffoon for you. You got Tim Bradley out here playing the buffoon for you.
And Jerron Boots Ennis, they say that they want everything that Jerron Boots Ennis has, Fanon. He's quiet. He just posts when he's on social media. He doesn't talk trash about other fighters, Fanon. He talks about going to church and being in the gym. And when he's in the ring, you don't have to worry about him running away. He's putting on exciting fights. What is the jihad going on that I've exposed on this program and others against Jerron Boots Ennis and falsely labeling him a duck? When he's everything that you say you want, Fanon.
And
everything.
Because Jerron Ennis is the real fucking deal. And if I was Jerron Ennis, I would take my happy black ass over there to the PBC and I would make them give me 4 or 5 fights against good dudes that I can absolutely dominate to get my stock up. I'm telling you, even the fact that these guys will not allow a PBC fighter to even have a tune-up. I heard that Jerron Ennis wants to go to fight at 154. He wants to acclimatize to the weight. He can't, he's not allowed to acclimatize to the weight. They're tearing him down outside the ring because of what the magic that he can do inside that ring. There is very few fighters that are as exciting to watch as Deron Ennis is. But again, if you don't give him the opportunity to look exciting in fights against competition that he will look exciting in, he's not going to grow his fan base. You need to balance those things if you're going to try to really grow a fan base. But Deron, you know they don't want Deron to reach his full potential, man, because he's 100% a type of guy that should be with the PBC. Sorry about that. I did silence y'all.
You know, you perfectly capped it off, because here's a guy that everybody says they want in corporate media, never been arrested, humble in the ring, and takes care of his business out of the ring. He's not trying to snooze you, get it, and be your what is it, melatonin? He's not trying to be your melatonin in the ring. And he and his dad are the most humble people out of the ring. They give interviews, they're not arrogant. And there's a campaign, a concerted campaign against Deron Boots Ennis to portray him as something he's not. So miss me with all this other talk about, hey, this guy's more popular, this and that, because I provided examples, countless of examples of the kneecapping that's going on and the campaigns orchestrated by corrupt and biased corporate media with their paid YouTube shills and echo chambers. And I'm not even mentioning any names because I don't have to do that. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Against fighters and against affiliated fighters. When Caleb Plant was at the top of his game, Caleb Plant is white. They were hating on him too. They were hating on Sweet Hands Plant. So it goes beyond just race. It goes with Al Haymon and affiliation. That's how devious and nefarious these things are. The ESPYs, Fanon, gave Katie Roughneck Taylor Boxer of the Year when she beat Serrano clearly only once out of 3 times. The first 2 fights were robberies. And Serrano moved up 2 or 3 weight classes to fight her each and every time. And Katie Roughneck Taylor turned down the offer of 3-minute rounds that Serrano asked for in all 3 fights. Katie said, no, I don't want to do the 3-minute rounds like the men do. So she's a duck. I haven't seen her be drug tested. Somebody needs to drug test Katie Roughneck Taylor. Her neck looks like a linebacker. So you give her Boxer of the Year where Clarissa Shields goes up to heavyweight and gets a knockout? And Clarissa Shields has been going from division to division. How does that work? Again, that's another example of corporate biased media. Because anybody else, when Tate fought Lamont, and Lamont was a champion at 130, Tate brought him up to 135, even though Lamont had fought at 135, everybody's like, oh, well, Tate's bringing somebody up. Why isn't he fighting somebody from 135? Woo, 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 woo. Katie Roughneck Taylor doesn't meet Serrano in the middle. She brings Serrano up, gets dominated, despite her cheating in 2 of the 3 fights, and you give her SP Fighter of the Year over Clarissa Shields? That is an example of a corporate, biased, lazy drive-by media that I've been talking about, and their paid shills and YouTube echo chamber, because nobody was talking about how Serrano was having to go up to fight Katie Taylor. Nobody was talking about how Katie turned down Amanda's offer of 3-minute rounds. And you give her, and I haven't seen the drug testing for Katie Roughneck Taylor. Nobody's demanding it when her neck looks like a linebacker. You give her the ESPY over people who had better years. Jake Paul could have done what Eddie Hearn did and released Shadeja Green after she lost her friend Sean Cruz DeZern. But Jake Paul showed loyalty to Shadeja Green. And what does Shadeja Green go and do, jabronis? She goes and beats Savannah Marshall and becomes unified. And now they're talking about Shadeja Green versus Clarissa Shields at heavyweight, a big money fight that we want to see. When Super Matias lost to Paro in a fight nobody wanted, when Super L had the mystique, he had the prestige when he was with PBC, Eddie Hearn drops Super L Matias after he loses. Jake Paul didn't do that with his fighters. So don't miss me with how this trust fund kid who goes around with stunts in Times Square saying, who knows Deontay Wilder, when he's clearly keeping AJ from Wilder. Miss me with how this is such a great guy and how he's doing the sport of boxing really well, because he dropped Super Ill after giving him a fight that nobody wanted to see, and Super Ill said his hand was injured in that fight. That's what he said. So he wasn't even 100% going into the Paro fight. And there were 10 better fights in that division for Super Ill than Liam Paro. And then compare that to Jake Paul and Shadeja Green. And Shadeja was loyal.
Come
and
on.
Jake Paul was loyal. So miss me with this Eddie Hearn's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Come on. Who said that?
You've been saying that.
I've said that.
Yeah, you've been big upping Eddie Hearn since I've known you, since you've been on this podcast, bro. Big time.
Have I said that? Have I implied that?
Dog, come on. Look, we're all smart people. Keon, we're smart people. And like, if I'm implying something, I'll be honest to let you know if I'm implying something. Okay? I can put what you said and your thoughts together. You frame them as questions, but you have statements within your questions. And some of the things that you're confused over, tell people what your stances are. Like, we're intelligent people, man. We know what you think. It doesn't, you can extrapolate off what you say and the questions you have as to what you think is good and what you think is bad. You know what I mean? That's called advanced complex thinking. We're able to do that on this channel. Dean, what's on your mind, Dean?
For now, I hope everything is okay. Kamal, I'm not sure who the guy from the UK is, but hope you okay, my guy, as well. For now, something pissed me off yesterday. I had Tay Jones on my show. He gave me a lot of great information.
Shout out to Tay Jones, bro. Tell Tay, if you talk to Tay, tell Tay I said what's up.
Yeah, me and Tay was going at it at first, and then we patched it up, and Cam J contacted me, man. He came through. And I've been trying to lay off Senior and them because I like Tay Jones. Because me and Tay talk, and he know where I'm coming from. But Senior won't stop, Fanon. He won't stop.
You talking about Brian Norman Sr.?
Yes. Now, I don't know if y'all saw his latest interview, and it pissed me off. When he was negotiating with Bill on the internet, Fanon, he told Bill, stop talking about Jaron Ennis. Why are you bringing up Jaron Ennis? He's at 154. Bill, why you keep talking about Jaron Ennis? Senior, can you take your own advice, my guy? Actually, Bill got more reason to talk about Jaron Ennis than you, and I don't even like Bill. Well, Dean, what you talking about? Whether we agree or not, Jaron Ennis was approached about a fight for Devin Haney. He turned it down. You turned down a fight with Jaron Ennis. It's a difference. Because he going out here for saying, oh, he not going to fight none of the top guys at 154. He not special. Y'all just put Jaron Ennis there. He ain't done nothing. He's not as special as y'all think. And all of this. Senior, he don't want to fight none of the top guys. Senior, don't you consider your son a top guy? Didn't he try to fight him? It goes out the window right there. And it's the biggest part for that pisses me off. Oh, yeah, he turned down this fight with Virgil and all of them. So, Senior, you turned down the fight, but you wanted people to give you grace on your reasons. But y'all don't want to give Jaron Ennis grace on his reasons. So everybody that was defending Brian Norman Jr., you should be defending Jaron Ennis. You want to know why? So what if Jaron Ennis turned down fights for because he want more money? Have we not seen this? Ain't that what Senior and them did? Then they turned down Jaron Ennis because they wanted more money, but they wanted to explain why. But you won't give Jaron Ennis that same grace. Don't even know what's going on. Everybody's putting all these rumors out about Jaron Ennis, but nobody actually knows what's going on. That's number one. And for now, I can tell you that you'll be replaying this a few months from now, and like y'all are terrible for what y'all tried to do to Jaron Ennis. And I know you've been saying it for now. But my thing is, Senior, You can't get mad when somebody like me makes a video talking about you being a hypocrite, my guy. You can't tell Bill to stop talking about your son. And if I type in Mill City right now, Brian Norman Sr., every interview got Jerron Boots niggas either in the title or they asking you about the man. You can't tell Bill to stop talking about Jerron Ennis. Meanwhile, you continue to talk about Jerron Ennis. You can't talk about Jerron Ennis turning down fights when your son turned down a fight with Jerron Ennis. And then you wanted people to hear your explanation for why. But you won't even give Jerron Ennis that same grace you want somebody to give you, my guy.
Hey,
go ahead.
1 second. Keon.
Yeah.
You hear the passion in his voice about Boots and Brian Norman?
Yeah.
That's why we don't need Liam Perros fighting here. This is real passion between cats in the United States, bro, that really are talking to each other. Like Tay Jones is really somebody that is really talking and working with these fighters behind the scenes and know these people. So the passion that you hear in Deem about what's going on with Boots and what's going on with Brian Norman Jr., that's what makes a big fight. Real honest tension that comes from two communities of people that know each other and they have a champion, right? Deem's champion, let's just say, is Jerron. Tay's champion, let's say, is Brian Norman Jr. These dudes got real beef. These dudes might throw hands. Like, no joke. It gets that heated. Niggas do things. That's what I'm saying. That's how you make a big fight, with real tension. Like Joe Frazier, Philadelphia, Ali, Louisville, Kentucky. It wasn't just Ali and Joe Frazier. It's those two dudes who all have big track records, having fought in those areas in the amateurs, been Olympic gold medalists. They meet together. That their crew in Philly can't fucking, and trust me, I know, because I got family.
What's
TMI. I got family in Philly and I got family in Louisville. So you better trust me that Louisville didn't fuck with Philly during the period of time that was taking place. That's real tension. That's what I mean. I'm gonna let y'all get back. I'm gonna let Dean get back to that. But that's what's going to make big fights in the United States. Not Turkey sitting back, rubbing his fucking belly, playing magical connect the dots. No, dumbass. This is a real tension. Like, do you know that can you imagine, Dean, how much tension there's going to be, how much tension there'll be in Gervonta and Gary Russell in D.C.?
Oh my God.
Now Lamont in Baltimore. Now Washington in Baltimore with Lamont and Gervonta.
You'll be able to feel the tension the minute that you walk into the Capitol Arena. I guarantee you. For now, my thing is, I hope if Tay, you listening, Tay, and I'm going to make a video because I know you probably hear it from me, Tay, because he follows me. Brian Norman Sr., you got a friend out here in Tay Jones who trying to mend fences, brother, the correct way. Stop, bro. Stop, my guy. Jerron Ennis is at 154. Your son is not coming to 154 no time soon. At the end of the day, your son turned down the fight Jerron Ennis. Simple as that. Y'all can't be going on these interviews talking about why Jerron is turning down stuff, but then you want to do all this explaining and want people to hear you out about why it's okay for your son to turn down a fight with Jerron Ennis, and he still hasn't got paid what he was offered to fight Jerron Ennis. And I told Tay, they got to stop though, bro. Because I can't, because my thing is, you're tearing down another man and you don't want people doing that to your son. You do not see Bozy Ennis every interview talking about Brian Norman Jr. You do not see that. You got to give people the same respect that you want to be given, my guy. So when the Hanos clan and them go out here and be capping and doing all that to y'all, it's a taste of your own medicine because you're doing the same exact thing to Jerron Ennis. All the boy wanted to do was fight your son, bro. That's it. You can't convince me he's scared to fight top guys when you consider your son a top guy and he tried to fight him. So which one is it? Because he didn't turn down the Brian Norman Jr. fight. You did. So if you're going to sit up there and trash the man for his decisions, but you don't want to get trashed for your decisions, you know what we call that in Philly? We call that being a hypocrite, my guy. It don't work that way. It's either you have to show the same consistency that you want with people when it comes to you. And that's it, Fanon. Because the part I'm offended by, Fanon, is he got a guy like Tay out here that's really his friend, that's trying to hold him down. But even Tay understands certain things. I gotta speak on it. He won't stop. That's all I got to say about that, Fanon. It woke me up. It pissed me off. I said another Mill City interview with Senior talking about Jerron Ennis. Is this the 50th one in 7 months? Another one? But if somebody does that to their son, same thing with Bill, same thing. Well, everybody want to have explanation, but when it come to Jerron Ennis, because he don't say nothing, just like Gervonta Davis, it's easy to sit up there and attack and say what the man feel and say the man business when none of y'all know either one of those men business. Brian Norman Sr., show Jerron Ennis the same respect that you want Boozy Ennis showing your son, because you praised the man. You said Boozy Ennis is a great guy and they gave us opportunities for our son to get better, and then you trash his son who brought you into camp to train against some of the top guys in the country. That's why you came to Philadelphia, because you can't find that sparring in Atlanta. This is facts. Jerron Ennis is not on every interview talking about your son no more. It's over, bro. Y'all turned down the fight. End the discussion.
All right. I just gotta say something. I'll be quick. Bill Haney, stop it. Not everybody on your list can fight you. You can't bring up Shakur from 135, expect him to fight at 147, and he's not a duck. This list is ridiculous. He might as well just put Canelo on his list, AJ on his list, put anybody on his list. Not everybody. Did you hear what he said yesterday?
No, what did he say, man? I try not to listen.
I wouldn't say him directly, but I would say his channels. Oh, Shakur duck Devin because he's going up to fight Conor Ben, which is that's not necessarily true. They're just talking. And Devin is at 147, so he ducked him. Like, when did this come about? How you duck
somebody before you even get in the weight class?
That's what I'm trying to say. Why everybody has to duck Devin? Everybody on the list is ducking Devin. Brian Norman Jr. is ducking.
Who's on the list? I didn't see the list. Who's on the list?
Here's the dumbass list he came out with like a month ago. Come on, you can help me with this. How long ago was that list?
It was about a month ago. It had Boots, it had Brian Norman, it had Shakur, it had Tank, it had Rolly Romero. I think it had Pitbull. It had about 10 people, and there was no method or reason to his so-called hit list. It had a top 10, and some of the dudes were two weight classes away from him.
And everybody on that list ducked. Everybody on the list ducked Devin. Everybody on the list ducked Devin. Boots, everybody. Except for Brian Norman, which we know he don't want to fight. Brian Norman's on that list too.
Big Dog Willie, the reason why they was able to run with this, and I be trying to tell you, Big Dog Willie, about why Shakur need to watch what he says, because it comes back. Now, he didn't gave Bill all the ammo. I'm going to tell y'all where this come from, Fanon. Shakur did an interview, I believe it was with Najee, when he had all black on looking like Neo from the Matrix. And they asked Shakur, they said, Shakur, would you go to 147 and fight Devin Haney? He said, nah, I'll fight him at 140, but I'm not going all the way up to 147. If Devin goes to 147, the fight is dead. So Big Dog Willie, once he says that, but then you entertain Conor Ben at 147, y'all know what's going to happen. Y'all know what's going to happen. And that's
we all know that Conor Ben shit is not going to really happen.
No, Big Dog Willie, I know that. I'm talking about that's why you have to watch what you say, because whether me or you believe it's going to happen or not is a null point. The point is, Shakur said he's not going to 147 no time soon. And if Devin went to 147, he wouldn't fight Devin. So when you go to 147, if you do entertain the Conor Ben fight, he's going to have to deal with the backlash of that. Because Big Dog Willie, here goes the other problem. Everybody was clowning Gervonta Davis because it started with Gervonta Davis and Conor Ben first. How dare Gervonta Davis try to talk about? Remember, Big Dog Willie, y'all was joking with me before it was Jake Paul. It was Conor Ben.
I never joked with you, Conor Ben. I already
I'm
knew
not
that.
talking about you. I'm
Bill
talking
Haney
about
came up and Bill Haney started that shit, and then he said he wanted Devin to fight Conor Ben like damn near like 10 minutes after he said he wanted to fight. Wasn't it like on a tweet or something shit like that?
Yeah. I'm just saying, Big Dog Willie, when those things happen, you know how Bill and them gonna operate. You know how the Haynos clan gonna operate. That's why a lot of these fighters, sometimes your best answer is next question.
Right.
I don't want to talk about Devin because now Big Dog Willie, they're gonna clip that up when he said that. And if he goes fights Conor Ben at 147 with all the history him and Devin got, I'm just telling you, my guy, where that's coming from business. And why.
I know. It's gonna be bad. I know. I just, you know how that shit pissed me off yesterday. I was like, come on.
No,
but I know, but I'm just telling Fanon. I didn't know. I thought Fanon knew. But yeah, everybody that list.
I knew about that list. I remember the hit list. I thought they came out with a ducking list.
No, everybody on the list is ducking Devin.
Look, these guys, look, man, these dudes with this ducking shit has been out of control for several years. Like, I think they got Tourette's syndrome or some shit. Like, that's the only thing they see is duck. If Devin says at 1 o'clock that he wants to fight Conor Ben, and if at 2 o'clock, if that contract ain't signed, he's ducking Devin. I mean,
exactly.
It's that simple, and I mean that dead serious.
I know.
On Monday, if Devin says, I want to fight Sebastian Fundora. If that contract's not signed on the desk by 2, Sebastian Fundora is ducking Devin Haney. I know who you're talking about. It's like he has duck Tourette's. Everything is duck. Everything is a duck. But it's crazy but then when you see a real duck, like real people that are really duck, then they get fucking blind. Like, didn't they offered Shakur Stevenson 25% when the mandatory WBC mandatories rate was 30, and they were like, "That's a duck."
I know. No, for now, would make that a bigger duck is that Bill admitted he never sent it to Bob Arum. He tried to do it with Shakur Stevenson directly. That's what makes it more of a big of a duck because. But Bill Haney knows at that time if you wanted to fight Shakur Stevenson on who you need to get in contact with.
But Dean, he wasn't going to fight at 135 anymore. He was going up to 140.
No, I know. I'm just saying forget anything else. When the minute that Bill tried to talk to Shakur Stevenson directly, it's a duck because Bill know that's not how fights get made. He knows that. Guess what, Big Dog Willie? You want to know how he know that? Because he was just with Bob Arum.
Well, he tried to do the same thing with Tank. And he tried to do, I mean, he does that with everybody, you know. He try to make, I think he does that shit to, like, that's why he got in trouble with Brian Norman. Because he was talking shit, talking about, I want to make a fight. And Brian Norman, you know how he is. He's going, all right. And he was talking shit and got signed into some shit.
Big Dog Willie, the Haney's got till November 23rd, bro. Let them talk, y'all. Let them go on a bunch of soliloquies. Cap as much as y'all have ever capped, please, because November 23rd. If your son go in there and get his head knocked off, just know, I'ma clip everything up y'all done said. So let them talk. Let them say everything they need to say. So if his son lose, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear I strain. I don't want to hear a word. Let them talk. Let them dig their own grave because it'll be that much worse later. Because guess what's going to happen, Big Dog Willie? If Devin is face flat, everybody going to bring up everything that you just said.
All right, man, I'm about to get out of here.
Yeah, I'm about to roll up out of here too, yo. We had about 2.5. It's been fun.
All right, salute to everybody on the panel. Hey, UK dude, Kamal, Dean, Fanon, you guys salute.
All right, man. Thanks.
Fanon, before you go, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
2 video requests. Can I get the Subrio Matias Pimp Slap and Tio video? You haven't done a video on that. I sent you the material. I would love that. And the second thing, I sent you the Porterway podcast where they had Brian Norman Jr. on. It was yesterday. It was released. It's just the first 20 minutes. They have Brian Norman Jr. on, and there's so many nuggets that Sean was saying that Bill and Devin were looking for a way out of the fight. And then they were also questioning Sean Porter and Brian Norman Jr. were talking about the clear conflict of interest with Conte and VADA. And Brian said, can we use another agency? Because Victor Conte said that he could beat VADA. He admitted it to Sean Porter in the Porter Way podcast. I don't know if you caught that. So
Yeah, I
that
did.
Snake did say that. So you could incorporate that in the video. And Sean said that Bill, when this fight was announced, he knew that Bill and Devin were trying to get out of the Brian Norman Jr. fight. And he knew this whole drug thing was a way to get out of it. That first 20 minutes of that Porter Way podcast, I sent you this morning, if you could listen to that. So 2 video requests on that, Fanon. And before I go, one last thing. You know where I can get one of those Mexicans for Haney shirts? Deuces.
All right, bro. All right, Keon. Have a great day, man.
You too.
All right, peace. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Noob, check out Brunch Boxing on Tay Jones Live yesterday. On Tay Jones Live yesterday, discussing the drug testing. Okay, I'll check it out. All right, y'all. With that, I'm out. Deuces. On Tay Jones Live yesterday. Okay, cool. I'll check it out. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful day. I'll get back with y'all tomorrow. Deuces.